girl, please, you're still broke. You're still broke. And this is your first paying job. Like, get it together.
No, Escape the Night was wild. Is it true that YouTube said no to me? When we do our mukbangs and I look back, I'm like, he was completely like normal. So I'm like, I have to wonder, is that a character? Was he always trying to, was this his plan to be like, I just think when you do a dramatic transformation weight loss like that, it is shocking and it gets the views and the attention. And is that real? I thought Stonehenge was like a myth.
Her name is Trish, she's got the dish and all the gossip's filthy rich, pretty and pink, hot topic queen, and says what everybody thinks. She's Just Trish.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Just Trish podcast. You guys, today our guest co-host is someone I've known for a very long time. Super sweet, super special, and we're already starting with the tears. Daniel Preda.
Hi. Oh my God, I'm so happy I'm here. It's been,
so
how
happy.
long have we, I think we've known each other for like 10 years now.
At least, because you knew me when I was in that big creepy house, remember?
I've known you through all the moments.
All the moments.
And the adventures and the chapters and the lore.
Yeah,
and
we've been,
yeah.
I think at least 2014.
Yeah, 2014, because that's when I moved to LA 2014, and I got in a relationship that summer, and then I kind of was thrown into like the world of YouTube.
Yeah.
The only person I knew on YouTube was Jenna Marbles.
Oh my God.
And you actually, because you had like viral like
Did you know
moments.
me?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know.
You did like parodies almost, or just like it was a character.
I tried to do everything, back then. I was like,
threw the spaghetti on the wall.
Yeah.
To see what sticks.
See what sticks.
Yeah.
That's actually in my poetry book. We were just reading the other day, and I was like, oh, that was a line I put in there where I was like, I threw it to the wall and see what sticks. Like,
you're writing a poetry book?
I did write one.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you sent me that one.
I didn't. Did I send you books in the past? Because that would be embarrassing.
I feel like you did, but you self-published a lot.
I self-published all of my books, and they all were like just poorly written. I never had any spell check, anything. I was just like, what is it called? Editing. I never had any editing.
Well, Gabbie has some competition with the poetry.
I did do the original poetry. No, actually, you know what? I might have copied her, actually. Maybe I did the poetry after. I did the books in 2013, but I think the poetry one was 2019.
Okay.
So
yeah, it's been a long time.
Shout out Gabbie for being the original poet of YouTube.
I mean, Henry Longworth's Wildfellow who? Like, we don't know.
Gabbie, I know. She's good. Sometimes it's good. Tana just did a sound of one of Gabbie's where it's like, I wish I could sleep, but I can't sleep with all the dead babies. Yeah. And I was like, kind of eats.
There's something there.
Yeah, I know we have our history with her, but sometimes you can like look and be like,
okay.
Yeah, there's something there.
Yeah.
How are you? I love that you have love her on today and not hate her.
Well, hold on now.
Okay.
Now, hold on now. We have the hats. Oh. So I can actually, you know what, today, I am a lover, but also I'm a part-time hater. So we can do I need to make sure the patch is centered, so tell me if it looks goofy.
This is iconic.
So I came up with this design. Is it correct?
I think it's centered. Let me see.
Is it good?
Yeah, that was perfect.
Is it good?
Wow, yeah, amazing.
Yeah. So I came up with this design because I'm like, I want to put out a hat that you can do both. Like, if you're a lover and a hater, I'm multifaceted. You're multifaceted. Mostly I'm a lover, but sometimes I have to pull out, you know, the quips and the a little shade.
You are. I wouldn't even say you're a hater.
No.
I would say you have to be a little messy.
Yeah, I don't like the word messy, and you've said that about me in the past. I think I'm honest, and I think now it's appropriate to be honest and like upfront and almost like brutally honest.
Right.
But like what, 5-10 years ago?
That's what I'm saying. More that.
More that. 5-10 years ago, if you were this honest and upfront, like, especially my demographic was teens and kids.
Yeah.
They were nervous of me. They're like, oh, who's this person that's so like confident and you know out there.
But you never think you were shady?
No, I was definitely shady. We're all shady. I mean, like, yes, like shade is deserved most of the time.
I was recently made aware of we don't have to get right into it, but the shady video. I think Oscar brought up, and I had no idea. I've never seen the video about the Christmas party, and you were alluding to people talking about drama, and I was like, wait, what? I
will allude. I will allude to things.
It wasn't alluding.
It's people can take it whichever way they want to, but no, I mean that was wild. Those were wild times.
Was I banned from the Christmas party 2019?
You were never banned from the Christmas party,
just
but
not invited.
Also no, I think that was the last one we had.
No, there was one the next year.
2019. You were not invited to 2019.
Okay.
No.
Was that a decision you guys made? Like, we're definitely not inviting?
That was a conscious decision.
Me and Gabbie both.
You and Gabbie both, and it truly wasn't personal. It's just because there was so many other people invited, and I'm like, I don't want drama to happen ever again, because our Christmas parties, like, my ex Joey and I, like, we grew up and we didn't have like a super supportive family, and we came out here at a young age, and like we want to bring people together, and our Christmas parties were just that. It was fun. It was like, who has Christmas parties like that anymore? Every single YouTuber was there because it was a community then.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to have a good time and like things get out of hand sometimes. And I will say 2018 was the most fun, and that was like the peak.
That was the peak.
And maybe it led to our breakup. Who knows?
When did you break up?
2020, but still.
Okay, so
yeah.
it
was COVID too.
Oh, I see. So your last birthday or your last Christmas party was right before COVID, 2019.
2019.
Christmas that was the one I don't think I think I had my own Christmas party that year.
I think you did. And also that was the time when like TikTok was starting to like rumble, and the community just like wasn't really a thing anymore.
Same.
People were traveling, so it was a small more intimate party. It wasn't anything crazy.
Okay, because I was like, oh, well, at least it was equally that we didn't get invited. Even though I didn't think the drama was between me and Gabbie, it was between me and
other
Laura
people.
and Manny.
Yeah.
Which but I think we're fine now. I think that they talked about me.
It was silly. It was like,
yeah.
I mean, there was a cap on the gifts. If from what I can recall, it was $100 cap or maybe $300, and you came in with like a Balenciaga hoodie and an iPad.
Yeah, I love that.
So
you hated it.
You were asking for it.
Wait, really? I know it took me. I was like, I don't know. Don't you want to be like have a one bougie thing? Like here you guys
no,
go.
I do love that.
Or do you think it was drama? Why was it drama?
No, there was no drama. I mean, it was a white elephant party. Nobody knew who they were taking from. It just was, and then it was silly. It wasn't anything serious.
I didn't think so either. But was it the following year Jojo brought like a Gucci something? Or money?
You know what? She brought a suitcase, and in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, Jojo Siwa brought her own suitcase. So I picked that gift thinking there's $1 million cash in there. I'm like, so excited. Tell me why there was like a Jojo Siwa bow, a doll, all her merch. I'm like, I still have it in storage somewhere. I'm like, this is the worst gift I've ever seen. I can't even regift that.
Oh, you have it?
I have it.
You know what? Be so iconic right now.
One day, you know what? Yeah. I should go into my storage unit and get it. Yeah.
JoJo's having her moment, so that's for sure.
Well, it's a moment. It's something for sure. Bless her heart.
I mean, everyone's talking about her. I think that's like kind of what trolls like, right? Like, I loved it. Like when I was a troll back, and I think that's like the age you troll, and you're excited for any attention and all attention.
I feel like she was kind of under a microscope. She still is, but like she's like a fabricated product. So I don't think anybody really knows her real, genuine personality. So I'm looking forward to like in a year, 2, 3, maybe she does like a fully like stripped album, and like you can, because she has chops. She can act. Yeah, she can sing. She can dance. She's a choreographer. She's an actress. I'd like to see like the real, maybe not JoJo. I'd like to see. Is that her real name? I don't know.
It's long. It's something. It's like Jocelyn something. Yeah.
The pop star Jocelyn. Yeah.
Yeah. I think so too. I think it'd be like 10 years from now. Maybe when she's like 30 with her children. She wants kids early. So I think like once her kids are like 4 or 5, she's going to do like a book. She's going to realize things. I think then you see that. Do you know the real her? Like, would you say you know the real?
I've only met her once when there was a collab going on in the house and her mom was over. It was a tight ship. She's very professional, very cordial, very kind, on time, prompt, everything. And she was super sweet, but I don't know, like, I've not, like, what am I going to hang out with her? Like, I'm a grown man, you know what I mean? Yeah.
That is the debate
it was very in and out, and I'm like, oh, this is like a production. Yeah. This is like a whole character.
Yeah. That's why I always wondered. I'm like, I wonder who, like, the real her is.
Yeah, but she was always nice. Like, I've never had any issues, really.
I agree. Yeah. Who's the messiest YouTuber? I know you talked about Gabbie, Hanna, and, like, we all know, but, like...
I really, like... nothing but love, and I wish her all the best.
Yeah, she seems like she's living her best life. Like she's performing her songs. She found
religion. She's living in somewhere that's not here, which some people can't handle. LA. You know, you have to have like a great home base, and if it's not family, it's good people around you. And a lot of people don't have that.
Yeah.
Who's the messiest? I don't know. I really don't have problems with anyone. It's just like I either like you or I don't from the moment I meet you. Like I can sense like if you're like dark, you know, energy, or if you're like fun and kind. Like I wasn't a YouTuber. A lot of people think I've been a YouTuber for 10 years. I started YouTube, like I really only started breaking ground in YouTube maybe 3 to 4 years ago.
That's wild to me too, because I always think of you as a YouTuber because you did the music video.
Yeah, but I was a producer and I was a writer and I did so much in the space and I was around like the world of it. I knew everyone. I still do, but I was never a YouTuber. Like I was actually on Vine and Musically, and I had a Tumblr back in the day that was pretty big.
Oh my gosh!
But I went to college. I went to Northeastern University in Boston, and I came to LA, worked for HBO, worked for E. That's I met Oscar, and then started working at E, and we worked together.
That's crazy. So you met Oscar before you knew Joey?
No, I met Oscar. I kind of like right around the time because Joey was close friends with Strawberry. Strawberry Girl, Strawberry 17,
Megan Camarino,
love, iconic.
She's iconic.
Yeah.
I really want to do a reaction video to like her vlogs because
they were. You need to have her on the pod.
I would love. Yeah. I would. They still promote her on like VidCon. I'm like, okay, just like killing it still.
very crazy to me.
But, YouTube doesn't really like update. They're kind of like, we know Jenna Marbles and Strawberry 17.
Yeah. No, and then I met Oscar through her because he was her assistant, and we just hit it off from the moment we met.
He was an unpaid intern.
Unpaid intern.
Yeah,
you
she
know
had
what?
like 10 of them.
He should sue. I don't know if she can pay the legal fees at this time. Yeah. But he should definitely go back to make some money.
I'm like, you really made those vlogs.
She had a whole gaggle of unpaid interns.
She had so many.
Yeah, I remember when I first started dating Joey, I'm like, who are all these people in this house? Because he lived with Strawberry and her brother, and there were a bunch of like minions running around.
Literally. And did you know they had to hide in the closet when guests would come over?
No, I didn't know
Literally.
that.
Like,
no.
she's like, oh, there's YouTubers over. Like, and so like, I think maybe, I don't know who it was. Maybe even Colleen was one of them where like, he said they all had to hide and like pretend like they weren't there.
That
Oscar
tracks.
said it all.
That tracks. But Oscar, I'm like, you're a superstar. And we hit it off as friends. And we were friends for such a long time from the beginning.
I always knew that too when I met him. I was like, we would see him in the Strawberry vlogs because we used to like watch them and just be like, oh my God, these vlogs are so silly. But then I was like, Oscar kind of eats in these vlogs. Yeah. So, and we met at your Christmas party in 2017.
I know.
I
was going to say, I'm like, did I introduce you guys? But before the Christmas party, he was you for Halloween once. And he's like,
really? Do I know this? I don't know if I know this.
I don't know if you know this, but he was like, he got a big hoodie because you love a comfy hoodie.
Yes.
He got a hoodie, and then he was like, I need a prop of these chicken fingers, and I'm like, oh my God, I know the place where she goes because it's right. It was in Encino,
Jerry's
like when
Deli.
I lived there. Yes, which closed.
They're all closed. All
they're
locations.
All closed. That was
the
best. They had the best matzo ball soup.
They were.
Ever.
Oh yeah, that was our spot.
Yeah, so we got that, and I think like he may have posted a picture or something.
I do remember this story. Yeah, which is like so crazy. That's why I was like, oh my God. Yeah, we've known him for so long. He's a superstar. But I always thought that about you too. And you were a producer. You were just telling me literally right before this. I did not know that you worked with Wendy Williams.
I did, yeah. So when I went to Northeastern University for broadcast journalism and film with a minor in business, and so we'd go to school for 6 months and then work for 6 months. So each year I had to do a new internship. So I'm like, I don't want to work for someone in tech or someone in Boston. Like, I went to New York. I got on the Fung Hua bus, which is a $5 bus from Boston to New York. I waited outside her studio with a cover letter, which it was very well written. I said, I want to be your intern. I want to be the first from Northeastern, because she went to Northeastern University. So that was my tie-in. Wow. So I go in, the PA pulls me in. Wendy comes out, no wig, just like a wig cap on in a robe. She's like, Daniel, how you doing?
No.
Come inside. I got to interview her. She put me on the show. I got an A on my project.
You were on the show?
I was on the show. There's clips. We'll pop them in right now.
Yes, please.
Yes, and the pictures and everything.
Daniel in the crowd from Northeastern University. Daniel, just right. No, hi, Daniel. How you doing? Have a seat, Daniel. Daniel, sit down and act right, or we'll throw you right out of here. You're making everybody nervous. No, we'll talk during the commercial. I hope we get an A on our project. So when I got here,
and I said,
why
Wendy,
would I know this?
I've never really made a video about it. It's lore. I have a lot.
This is lore.
I have lived many different lives. So this is, it was just such a pivotal moment for me because I went for something and that nobody else was doing. Nobody expected that was a possibility. So I said, if I get an A on this, can I be your intern? Can I apply to be your intern? And I got an A on it. And then I went back and I worked for her and I learned so much. She's so kind. Behind like this veil of like, you know, you're literally in her chair. We're both super fans of Wendy, of course.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was and it launched so much for me because at the time I was working in radio at Kiss FM in Boston, and I wanted to work in radio. I wanted, you know, I was interviewing people. I got to interview Katy Perry at her concert. Like same thing. Yeah, shout out to Katy 143.
Yeah.
We need to talk about that too.
Yeah, eventually. For sure. Okay. I know when I saw you get the smoothie, I was like, I thought about that before we were going to do the crumble cookies for your thing. I was like, we should get the smoothie, but you had gotten it like that day. I was like, oh my God, I'm already on it.
Because Capitol Records reached out to me and they want to work together.
No way.
Yes.
Look at you. Yes. This is why I've always gravitated to you. I always gravitate towards people who are just those kind of people that are just like go-getter. I'm always like so in on. I didn't even know this about you, but this makes sense. Like to go to Wendy Williams, how old are you? Like 20?
No,
20?
I was 18. 18 and a half, maybe 19. It was my freshman year. I was 18.
Like on the set. What were you doing on the show?
Literally at 5 a.m. waiting outside. I was a production assistant. So I got to learn the ins and outs of the industry. I worked in social media. I was like, I had my finger on the pulse. And I just was like, wow, I'm doing this. I didn't think anything of it at the time, but like you need to go for those crazy things because you just don't know what's going to work out.
Oh, I love that so much, especially at 18 too, because like it just takes so much like balls
I was deranged.
To do it. Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, I'm literally on the show. I'm a co-host.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, but
like,
you actually were on the show.
You have to believe it because I wasn't always that person. You know, you just have to like believe and trust that the universe is going to bring things to you if you put it out there.
Oh my God. And when's the last time you worked on the show? Was it like a year you were there?
No, I was there on and off because I did school for 6 months and then worked. So on and off for 2 years, and then I worked for Condé Nast, and I went in sort of like the publishing route. And then after school, I moved to LA to work for HBO.
Oh my God. And then so when do you, like, you're here at HBO, when do you become, like, you said 3 to 4 years ago you became an influencer.
Yeah.
When do you, like, stop working, like, the mainstream media and then focus on, I guess, like, Joey's career?
So I've always, I wouldn't say influencer because at the time, like, influencer wasn't a thing.
Right,
I was just, like, me online. Like, you know, like, I kind of I had, like, a little bit of a following, like, maybe, like, 20,000 followers, but on Instagram, that at the time that was a lot. And I was getting like brand deals and whatever, but I was working corporate. And then I got into a relationship, and then we went right into it. We went right into Escape the Night season 1. And that's when we started really working together. He started pulling me into videos, and I was like a talent with him. And then I produced the majority of his videos for many years, like a camera in my face every single day. It was like something I could not get used to.
Really?
Because I like private things, you know, like I want to have time with your partner, and it was just like kind of stressful, you know.
Oh man, I feel like that'd be like a dream to be like, I'm on camera every day.
But to me, like my education is this, like a set. I'm really good as like a produced person, so it took me out of it, and I'm like, okay, I have to produce myself, I have to like always be on, and I didn't really know what to share, and I was like very nervous in the beginning, and then like our relationship blossomed, and so did our connection and the videos, and like we amassed this like following together as well. Like we were an it couple for the queer YouTube community.
Oh my God, it was everywhere and
everything. It was so much love in that relationship, and I like look back on it. I have the best memories. We had the best times. We traveled the world. We did book tours together. The show was such a pivotal moment in my life, and we had a great time. Like it was awesome. We built a house together. Awesome.
And your houses were always so gorgeous. And I always wonder that. I'm like, post breakup, I'm like, what if he can still like slay a design, Joey?
Yeah. I mean, I designed my house here in the hills, and I also live part time in Montana. I moved there after my breakup during COVID, and I like a little cabin in the woods. It's cute.
That's actually everything. But do you think Joey can keep up his interior without?
All plans dead. I was there last week dropping off the dog because I actually leave to Italy tonight.
Oh my God, that's so exciting.
And I was like, girl, what's going on in here? But also, that's not my place anymore. So if
you don't try to make it cozy for him?
I mean, I'll send a candle like for a birthday or something. But like, no, he has great taste, so he can do it. He's a big boy, you know.
Yeah.
But he can hire me too, because like I have clients on the side too.
Wait, are you doing that?
I do it for like celebrity clients, like on the side just for fun, because I was doing content during COVID, and I was like, I love home and I love design, and I'm like, I grew up poor, so I'm like, my mom knows. She taught me how to like push $1.
Yeah.
Paint, throw pillows, flowers, that whole thing, curtains.
You're so good at it.
And it was fun. And I love like making a home beautiful because I didn't really have a stable one growing up, you know?
Yeah. And it's always cozy, like everything. Because I had talked to even Mose because we like run out of time around Christmas time. And I always like, I remember ask her last year, I'm like, do you think Danny would come like do? Because you did like a tinsel tree. Yeah. And I was like, this is iconic. I love it so much.
I would have to be here. You'd be sleeping. I'd be working on the tinsel tree overnight. That took me 7 hours to do that, but it went viral.
Would you take me on as a client?
Absolutely.
Because that'd be so fun. Because we always want to do like an epic Christmas card and stuff, and we just get like so busy.
If you want to do like an epic, huge Christmas tree, I'm always down.
Okay, let's do it for sure. But yeah, you were saying too, because also Daniel brought like this like amazing spread. Not only did you bring crumble for our TikTok after, but then you brought these donuts. What were they called? They're called
Kettle Glaze. They're in the hills. They're the most iconic small business, fresh. I was there at 7 a.m. right when they open up, and I'm like, give me the best that Trisha will love.
Oh my God, that was so great. And then you had like this, it literally felt like I was a guest on Wendy Williams. Like there's a gift basket of like candles and like lavender from your garden, and I was just like, it was. And you said you're like, you know, I'm like, everything you have is like so homey, so cozy, and you're like, it's because I grew up, which I think a lot of people like don't know either, is like your upbringing, like just not.
We came here from Romania. My family's from Romania, and I'm also Italian, and we didn't have anything growing up. Like we were new to America, and you know, I was the one who had to learn how everything worked, like in a home, and my mom was working. She was a nurse. She worked overnight, and I just wanted to like make the house home, and that's what I did.
At an early age.
Yeah, at an early age.
Amazing.
Because we didn't really have a lot, so yeah.
Where do you think you get your like drive from, like going to Wendy Williams at 18 or like anything that you
Delusion.
do? I love that.
Just full delusion, because like there's like at the time, I was like, nobody's doing this. I want to do something fun.
Yeah.
Like, let me go to New York. Being in New York at a young age, you've been there. It's fabulous. It's like the most incredible city.
But scary at 18.
Terrifying. But I was like, I was in the club till 2 a.m. making out with Adam Lambert.
Wait, we have such an Adam Lambert connection. Everyone
know.
that comes through here has an Adam Lambert connection. I'm obsessed with Adam Lambert, but everyone just casually knows him.
I think at the time,
make out with him?
I made out with him fully.
Ooh.
There's a picture. Actually, we used the picture for Hot Topics because they needed a picture. You know when she did the fan out segments when fans would send in pictures? She's like, you guys, we need another picture because we only have 3. And I'm like, here, take this. It's from last year.
Oh, my God. What did she say about it?
I was like, yeah, we met. We hung out. We danced. We made out. And then that was it. He was so sweet.
Oh my! Have you kept in touch with him at all? Because he's like,
I haven't heard from him
he's
since.
in the circle though. Like everyone out here knows him.
I didn't have a number. I didn't have anything. I was literally brand new to the city, and it was probably one of the first boys I've ever made out with. And I'm like, it's good for the book one day.
Oh my, yes. Yeah. And you're doing a book, but you're not doing a memoir yet.
No, I haven't lived enough to do a memoir. Oh,
I feel like you could. Well, Joey had him. No, Joey didn't do a memoir. He was the only one that didn't do a memoir.
No, he did do a memoir.
Did he?
Yeah, he did do a memoir.
What was his called?
Also, he has lore to him. Like he comes from a troubled home and he's overcame so much and he's worked so hard. And
I feel like he never gets like deep into his lore. Like, you know what I mean? Like no one ever.
I think he lives in like a fantasy world. Like he loves to create the worlds. And like, I think that's his like barrier. I think he's more interested in that than talking about his own.
Which is so crazy because you could help like so many people talking about your own. But I get it if it's like traumatizing.
But he has about like his mom who has been through her issues with addiction. And my father was an addict as well. So I think it is important because I love sharing that story because there's so many. I remember like when we were kids, there weren't a lot of people like us and we couldn't relate to a lot of people. So I would love to share my story one day, but this is totally different.
Are you 30 now? Are you
31?
Oh, you are? Yeah. Is Joey in his 30s?
He's 32.
That's wild to me because I always think of you guys as like so young, even though I'm like only 5 years older. I just always remember you guys like I'm feeling so young. You know what I mean? That's like wild.
No, it's so weird when like the 5 years like is so big when you're younger, and then when you catch up, you're like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God. Wait, so. You are kind of a hot topic. You've been a hot topic this summer. What do you think now when people like talk about you? Because you're out there, but you're not out there. Like you're not involved in like the drama. But then when you become a hot topic, are you like nervous? Are you like, oh my God, like, or are you like living for it?
A little bit, but like it's nothing serious. Like with everything going on in the world, I'm like, me calling somebody boring is like silly, and like let the gays battle for. It was 20 seconds. Were you not entertained?
I loved it.
Exactly.
Connor hit me up too. He came for me too. I think on like 2021, I was like, what? Where's Connor Franta? And then he's like, I'm right here. Like relax. Like he kind of like.
I mean, listen, he got to hit TikTok. The sky is blue. I will always stand by everything I said, and he got me. I got him. Poof, I DM'd him. It was over in 24 hours. It's not serious.
I feel like boring is not really a bad thing.
I call myself boring. I call my best friends boring.
I do too. I think I live a boring life, and I said like boring. Like, and people always come for me because I'm like, oh, Moses. I think boring. What is it? It's not boring that I'm saying. It's like, what is it meant to be?
Drama free.
Drama free. Yeah.
Right.
But I think like boring's not bad. To me, I call my life boring, but I like love it. Yeah. I don't think it's bad. Is that what happened then? You're just like, he's
honestly,
boring.
and also that was the past. I don't know who he is. We've never like really hung out. It was just like it was a passing kind of comment, and it was also like from a place in the past from insecurity. I was in a new relationship. I didn't know any of these YouTuber people. And I was like, oh, like, are you guys friends or more? Like, it was silly. We were kids, and it's not that
especially
deep.
That era, there was such like a rise of like really hot gay boys in YouTube.
Girl, and they're all around the house. I'm like, okay, you out.
Wait, really?
No, I'm in my mind.
You felt like insecure?
Anyone would feel insecure. It's a new relationship. And also, I was around somebody who's a superstar.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know how to like handle it, like especially because a lot of YouTubers when they come over to collab, like they're not friendly, they're not real, they're there for business. Like a few of them are like you kiki and everything, but like I wasn't a YouTuber, so there was nothing to gain from me. I was just like this random dude in the house that like, but for me when I enter a house, like, hi, how are you, give me a hug, like nice to meet you, where are you from, what do you do, like tell me about yourself. But I don't think a lot of people have those social skills when they've achieved success at a young age.
Especially like influencers, I feel. So like you said, they kind of don't know like the proper like protocol and like how to be just
and you just treat people how you want to be treated, right?
But that's true. I also feel like because you worked so many mainstream jobs, like a lot of influencers don't do that. They just go straight to like YouTube.
Absolutely. And I was a PA for HBO. I worked on set for like 16 hours. I worked for talk shows. And I loved it. It's such a group effort, but you learn how to treat people. That's why working with a crew, so important. I will say hi. I want to know what's going on. Are you okay? Are you fed? Do you have water? Like, is everything, the temperature good? You know?
I think that's maybe why your Escape the Night drama, like you guys have had, like, I think maybe comes into play because a lot of people just don't know how to be on a set because that was pretty produced, right? You guys had budget. It
was a $6 or $7 million show. We had a crew of over 150
for one season.
For one season. I think for the later seasons, the earlier ones, we had a smaller budget.
Holy.
Maybe it was a little less than. Maybe it was like 4.
But
either
produced.
way,
Yeah, it looked like budget.
this is a mainstream production company. This is not like YouTube has nothing to do with it. All they have to do is sign the check. We have the production company. Then Joey has his production company.
Wow.
We hired out, and then we did direct offers to talent. But I also didn't have a budget to have my own assistant, so I was and I love to work. Like I will do anything.
Yeah.
If the floor needs to be mopped, I'll do it. If I need to be on set, I'll do it. Just because like I like to like help when I can, you know?
But you can't be in like so many places at one time.
No, and I needed an assistant. And I didn't, and I think that's where a lot of the issues came from. So I was dealing with talent while also being a talent and being a producer.
Yeah, that
so
would
it was
be,
a lot.
Oh yeah, you definitely shouldn't have to deal with like tantrums yourself or anything like
I mean,
that.
I've dealt with everybody and I handled it and I squashed it, but there's just the one issue that really, like, I even had issues with Tana when she was on season 2.
Yeah.
She was a f***ing nightmare.
Well, she was really young too,
yeah,
right?
she was. And guess what? Like, when she came back season 4, I'm like, girl, you are amazing. On time, professional, great attitude. She was a kid. She was new to fame. And then she was around all these high school bullies.
Yeah.
You know?
right.
So
It was a lot.
It was probably a lot for her too. But
Yeah.
she's a good, I always knew she was a sweetheart and a good person.
I've always said that about Tana.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, as long as I've known her, she's always just been, like, a good person. Because she also comes from, like, a background, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, and I think those people, like you said, they, like, yearn for community and, like, that kind of... And I think she's always been so nice. Like, that is one person that's been consistently nice.
So nice. And always, like, will talk to anyone. Is, like... She loves to laugh. She loves to have a good time. She's a good time girl.
I was thinking about Joey too. I always said, I remember like it was like 4 years ago, and I remember saying I was in a video with Colleen, and I was like, "You and Joey are like the only unproblematic ones of YouTube. Like it's crazy."
Yeah.
And I was
Didn't
then, like
age well.
literally a year later, not even a year later, and I was just like, "Whoa."
No, Joey's the biggest sweetheart I've ever met.
Yeah,
and he's the best.
He seems like it. I mean, I've never gotten to know him like personally. Like he doesn't get deep.
Yeah,
but maybe that's good.
I think he can, but like what you see is what you get with him, and some people, and that's okay. You know,
Yeah.
some people are deeper than others. It is what it is.
No, Escape the Night was wild. Is it true that YouTube said no to me?
So yeah, they said no to you 4 times. But guess what? Joey and myself and Adam, the showrunner, always rode for you hard because just like Tana, I've known you're a sweetheart. I know you have a great heart throughout literally everything, and I've always been on the sidelines cheering you on. And we rode for you every single season.
Isn't that crazy? Because I just feel like Shane was way more problematic than me, and he's on the show. Like I just feel like there was way more problematic people.
It's a weird dynamic also, I think, with women and YouTube. Like there aren't a lot of like heavy hitting females that are like have their own shows. Like of course there's like the Liza Koshy and whatnot, but it's mostly a male dominated app. I mean, you know.
Yeah, it's like very apparent now we see with like Mr. Beast and Voice, like it's very like, and it's always has been. It always has been, and it's like interesting.
But you've always been a part of it, and I know if there's anything in the future, Joey would love to have you. I'm no longer working on that. I pulled out.
Really?
Yeah, just because I have my own stuff going on, and it was a great chapter, and it's all great in his hands. Like his mind is he's so creative. Like so whatever he does next is gonna be great.
But are you do you ever go back to TV at all, or like mainstream production, or just
TV, but as a talent? So I have a couple upcoming things which are really cool.
On TV?
Yeah.
Oh my
it's
God.
not like
I'm so excited.
I was up for a show with Paramount that got pulled. It was called Finding Prince Charming.
What
it
is
was a show on Logo 10 years ago, and then Paramount was gonna reboot it. But you know that show Best Friends of WeHo?
Yeah.
It did so poorly and got canceled, which is sad, but I think they needed the right dynamic.
It wasn't it?
No, girl. It was not a real friend group. You need a real queer friend group, and for it to be inclusive and like drag queens, you need like everybody. You need every color under the sun. Like make it like feel like a community. But no, it was a show called Finding Prince Charming. And I'm like, oh, I don't really want to be a talent on a show. Like I'm not looking for love in
reality. It was like the reality Bachelor.
It was reality, yeah. But they're like, no, we want you to be the prince. And I'm like, am I relevant enough to be the prince? I've never considered myself.
For sure.
I always do my thing. I don't care about relevancy. What I care about is bookability, working, and the bag. Like I'm
always
a good
about the
person.
bag.
I don't need to, because when you're at the tippity top,
oh no,
girl, where are you going?
Everybody, everyone's just trying to pull you down.
I'd rather go like this and build something like lifelong.
Just kind of stay under the radar, middle radar, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. Well, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So that just didn't happen after that show?
It's still kind of in the works, but it's not really where I'm at right now. And then I'm just like focusing on my own stuff right now.
Would you ever do like acting?
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was gonna do that when I came to LA. Like, I went to Stella Adler. Like, I auditioned for so many CW projects, and I was very, very close to a massive show. And then
Can you say which one or no?
I don't want.
Okay.
I want to stay in good graces with them.
We'll bleep it. What was it?
Yeah. Bleep it because
yeah,
I just I can't.
Wait, why? You think they're like
No,
mad?
I want to work.
Yeah.
I don't want them to like
I
think.
feel you.
Yeah.
Who was it? Do you watch TikTok? Are you a TikToker?
Yeah. I mean, I have a TikTok series. Yeah.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
Number one hater. Well, I didn't know if you like scroll. You know, some people.
No, I scroll. I doom scroll.
Because you don't really do trends. You really do. I guess you do. You do like tasting Erewhon smoothies and
Occasionally,
stuff.
but like I kind of carve my own lane, and like I like that. Just like you have.
Yeah,
Like you do your own thing, and like I'll participate in a trend, but I feel like to really like concrete and put your name in cement, like you need to like have your own original content.
Right, but you don't get like involved in the TikTok drama. Do you keep
No,
up with it?
I see it. Oh, I see it.
But you don't comment. I love that you don't comment. You used to comment on everything, and I feel like
I know.
now.
Well, everything changed when I deleted Twitter, and I deleted at the right time because it was when Elon took over, and it was becoming super homophobic.
Oh,
it was
really?
like the comments were. I think they may be pushed to a different audience now. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think gay Twitter is like popping right now.
Well, X is just like a dark place, and it's like it's worse than what Twitter used to be, in my opinion. So I just I'm like, I don't need this other app. Like, I don't even care. I
deleted it.
I think I had like 500,000 followers or something. I'm like, I don't care.
Oh my god, you just why didn't you
I'm
just
not
like
making money from it. I was gonna. Now I regret like just not deactivating it. But like I'm like, I don't make money on here. I don't care.
You can monetize it now.
I know.
And then get ads and all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
I see Rosanna always have like an ad on hers. And I was
Honey,
like, yes.
she's working.
She's working. I know Twitter. She's making
Yeah.
the bag for
Yeah.
sure. Escape the Night, I always had a little chip on my shoulder
Yeah.
because I was like, wow, I'm actually friends with these people and have more
know.
followers than most of these people.
Yeah,
and I always
I
felt
know.
a little slighted. But if I got
I
on
know.
Traders, an Emmy award-winning show,
Yeah.
done.
It's
Sorry,
gonna
Escape the
happen.
Night.
It's gonna happen.
It'll be shooting the same time as Escape the Night movie. I'll be like, sorry, Traders asked me.
I'm busy
my
right
Emmy
now.
award-winning season, yeah.
No, it's gonna happen. And if I had anything to do with YouTube, you would have been on season 1.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
yeah.
Was it season 1? Because I remember season 1 Shane was on, and I was just like, oh wow, that's crazy. Or Drew Monson too. Like I remember he said he never was asked, and I was like,
no,
how?
That's one thing that they were very particular about. We gave a list of names always and who we want. Of course, we want our friends to be on the show. But they were sticklers. It had to go through like a board of like 20 or 30 people of approvals. It was crazy.
But like, I just don't get the logic because Drew was so popular at the time too,
was-
and I remember.
I don't think there was logic, and also they were sticklers with numbers. Like I wanted to be on so badly as a guest, but I'm like,
were you never on?
No, I was never on. I always had like a. So I'm like, I love Alfred Hitchcock, and I always wanted like a Hitchcockian role where like he's in a lot of his films, like in the back of the bus. So I have bit parts in every single season.
Oh, so you are on
that
it.
you don't know, but you don't know it's me. I'm in full like 1 year I'm a caveman, 1 year I was in full drag. Like you don't know it's me. It's just like I'm just there and like acting and like being a character.
And why wouldn't they let you be like a guest on it?
Because they're like, you don't have numbers and you're not relevant. I'm like, period.
Wait.
Yeah, you needed to have at least 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I remember season 3 when we pushed for Nikita to be on, and I didn't know why they didn't want her on because she was popping, and she still is. They're like, she doesn't have 1 million subscribers. I'm like, you guys we need entertainers.
That's crazy.
Because you can have 10 million followers and subscribers, but honey, the well is dried. You're not working. You don't have a personality. And guess what? Some people may have a personality on YouTube and when they're vlogging, but when they're on a set, they don't know how to work. They don't know how to act. They don't know how to treat people. So I think you're the full package, and you've come into your own, and it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I feel like Escape the Night definitely had like just so many flops because I was like, okay, they're good on their
Flop
own,
City.
but yeah,
First kills.
But
Yeah.
right, but then you turn on the show and you're kind of like, they're not.
Yeah, because
entertaining, but-
they're not actors, and you have to have a imagination and talent in an acting capacity.
Yeah, it was very interesting. But
Yeah.
it is true because like my main channel has 5 million subscribers and averages about 30,000 views a video. This one doesn't even have 1 million. We have 600,000 subscribers, but averages 500,000 a video.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't make sense when people say that.
Numbers, followers don't matter anymore. It's who you are and what you bring, and you know.
Are you talking to Nikita now?
I
Still?
haven't talked to her in a minute. I know she's kind of doing her thing. She kind of stepped out of the light, but
I think she's coming back.
Oh.
Her and Joey were just at something. Like he was.
I did see that.
Where was that? Like in front of her billboard or something?
I think she had not a premiere.
Skincare?
She had an opening for something that she's maybe the face of, but I was in Montana and I know I couldn't make it.
Would you have gone?
Yeah, of course. I love her.
I've never met her. I would like to meet her.
She's a sweetheart. But also, I know the Nikita in sweatpants, no wig, like no makeup. Like we're just
really?
getting takeout, playing video games, hanging out.
Oh my God, that's
and she's a
cute.
sweetheart. But she's a demon when she's in. Was not anymore.
Oh, right.
But like we traveled to Japan. Oh my gosh, I was there with her for 2 weeks. she came with Joey and I. It was a nightmare. Every single thing was a production. I had to take all her pictures. She never took a picture of me, but I got her together at the end.
Really?
Oh yeah, at the end of the trip, I'm like, girl, offer to take a picture of me because I look gorgeous.
Oh my God.
And she did the wigs, the makeup, the dress. It was just a lot.
What year is this?
I think it was 2018. I think it was the year of everything. Like we were literally at a temple in the Japanese mountains. She was in a completely different attire. It was like a Buddhist monk colors, like orange and brown hoops around her neck. She went to a temple that's like thousands of years old and took the thing and banged a gong.
Oh my gosh. Oh, did she bring the gong or was
No,
there?
the gong was there.
Oh.
The gong was, but only monks do that who have lived there for thousands of years.
I wouldn't have known.
All the monks came running out. They were like,
were they mad?
Of course, they chased her
But
out.
they should have a sign that says "Do not bong."
I mean, Billabong. I mean, I think it's just common courtesy to not bang like a 1,000-year-old
really?
gong.
I feel like that's like calling your name.
No, because it was like in the garden of the temple. It wasn't like at the road, like here, like passerby.
And how'd you guys get back there? Was it for tourists?
We were staying next door, so we were taking a walk through these like ancient gardens where all these graves, where all the monks. It's beautiful. There's fog on the ground. It's like it's fantastic. But I'm like, this is crazy. But that was a crazy time.
Yeah,
and I don't think she's always been a sweetheart. So I think she'll come back and. I think she's figured herself out.
Yeah, it seems like it. I think she had. I know. Her book would be so interesting, right? Because of all the spots. She was up and then down and then this. And we saw it so publicly, like the meltdowns and all stuff like that. And it is sad. I think it's so sad. I always say this because obviously I've had public meltdowns too. And it's like to see that is like always a little sad. Like Gabbie.
Of course.
Even after, I mean, look, you can always, like someone could be like this bad person, right? Or like, or even just doing bad decisions, but at the same time, to see someone melt, like spiraling in public is like really sad.
It's scary to see because like you really can't do anything about it if you're not in the inner circle or a parent.
Well, that's why I was wondering with like Nikita, like do you reach out to her and you're like, are you okay?
I've always reached out. We're just like life, I've always reached out. I mean, years ago, I gave her my recommendation. I had an amazing therapist at the time, and she was asking me about mental health and medication because there was a time in my life where I needed that. And then, it's some people it's forever, some people it's not. For me, I was able to wean off of it.
Yeah.
And I think that really helped. So I've always rooted for her and always been a solid friend, even behind the scenes.
But you just couldn't at that time.
No, it was just I stepped away from a lot of people in my life.
Yeah.
It just especially after my breakup, I was just like, okay, I need to take a beat and I need to see who's here for me and who's loving me unconditionally and being an unconditional friend, not just because of the relationship I'm in or, if I can get you on a show or something like that.
But do you think people maybe felt like they had to pick a side? Right? If you know Joey first?
No, it was never like that.
Really?
Because I was the glue that kept everything together.
Really?
In all those friendships. Because I'm the one who has the dinners, the holiday parties. That's my love language, And there was so much love there. I spent so much time loving somebody. Why would we end this in hate?
Right. So I guess when that I don't know because I think on the outside, people wouldn't know. I wouldn't know you were as close as you were until this year when you did that little spill your guts and I was like, oh, they still talk.
Yeah,
and
that's a cute little private moment that we have, which is nice.
Yeah, that's cute. I love that.
Yeah.
What other show Dancing with the Stars that's coming back? Would you be on that one?
I love dancing. Wait, have you been on Dancing with the Stars?
No, I guess I'm getting the boot from everything. I feel like honestly, when I heard the Escape the Night lore of YouTube saying no, I have a feeling people pitch me, but they're like, no. Harry Jowsey was on, so I was like...
The thing is, your power is stronger than YouTube, and networks see that now, but 5-10 years ago, they didn't see that. They didn't take any... I remember when I was at NBC, they didn't take any of my ideas seriously, because it's these old, straight executives that were like, what's Snapchat?
Oh my God.
What's YouTube?
That's
what?
so true. Can I tell you now, I really do feel like... And not just me, but a lot of people maybe ahead of my time, right? Because it's now all the people that are 10 years younger than me are coming into these positions of power and they get it. They're like Trisha, But I think when I was in my 20s, like you said, it was all these old white straight men that didn't get it. And they're like, oh, she's a little chubby or she's not cute or what? She's YouTube, she eats. What is that? But I think now is this whole different time where people, so hopefully they see it. But Anna Delvy on Dancing with the Stars.
I love.
Oh, you love?
No, I don't know anything about her. I know the documentary and everything. I don't love her. I don't know her like that. But I love the vision, the marketing of this girl with an ankle monitoring bracelet because it gives me very Lindsay Lohan, early 2000s.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's kind of fierce because they would never do that.
Yeah, it is kind of wild that they market it that way because I also think they're it's like Disney. They're trying to be family friendly, but then it's oh, let's.
But they're playing on it. They know what is gonna get bites on social media. idea.
But have you seen her clips or interviews or anything of her talking?
I've seen a couple of them, yeah.
Like her with her partner Ezra, who's his first season as a pro, and she's basically just like, they're like, why are you here? And she's like, I don't know, I was like talked into it. She goes, maybe I'll quit. Like she's like just so doesn't want to be there.
Oh, I hate that.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I kind of hate. And
that.
her partner's like, well, you better show up to rehearsal because she's like, I was talked into being here.
Girl, please, you're still broke. You're still broke. And this is your first paying job. Like, get it together.
I wonder how much they pay. I had heard $150,000 at one point for like the full season.
I could see that. But also, like, you're on a set. That's an amazing opportunity. You better be respectful and thankful that you're there.
No, she's like over it. Like I don't know if it's like her character or her chick she's playing
She'll be
into.
out then. She'll be out.
You think? But
100%.
that's the only one people are talking about. Do you know anyone else on this new season?
No.
I'm trying to think.
No.
Because I know it's Anna Delvey. Oh, I guess the two like a Bachelor and a Bachelorette is on.
Once I saw Jamie Lynn Spears on it, I'm like, girl.
Oh gosh.
What's going on?
She was on Special Forces. She's been making the rounds.
I don't know if she's like a cheaper option, if they're not paying her as much, but I'm like, it's not entertaining. It's not good. And also, Team Britney forever.
Team Britney forever. Did you see Jamie Lynn? I think it was like on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. It was like the Jungle one she was on.
Was she crying?
Yeah.
Was it that? Yeah.
And she was talking about Britney, but she was basically saying
always has Britney in her mouth.
Always. Even though her intro was like, I'm a singer and an actress. I was like, okay, no, you're literally Britney Spears.
Yeah.
But that Sam Asghari too, his little caption, you know, of what they do, it says actor. I was like, really?
He was trying, the thing is, I saw what he was doing with his team, but when he was in the relationship, he was going to acting classes. I remember I bumped into, you know who I bumped into in an acting class? Him, and also Mariah Carey's ex at an acting class years ago.
Brian, the dancer?
Brian Tanaka. Sweetheart.
Oh, I thought they were still together.
I'm like, no, they're not together. I'm like, why are you in the back of the class? Aren't you with Mariah Carey? I'm like, you guys are trying to be actors. So like, if the relationship ends, you can move in. Maybe it's their passion. Who knows? But I'm like, no.
That's so sad though.
Team Britney always.
I know.
Death to all of them.
She was so on for that one too. Wendy was.
I know.
I feel Britney's supposed to be making a comeback. She's supposed to be in the new Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat musical as the narrator, and it's with John Chu. And supposedly she tweeted that she was going to be in it. They're making a movie.
She tweets so much, like that never happens though.
But I feel like she will. I feel like she will make a comeback, and I think like in movie form would be a good one because she is a good singer.
Yeah, and she, as long as the check is correct, I feel like she would do it and on her own terms and what she wants to. But
I think so.
Like Britney's my number one. Always. I love Britney, Mariah. I love like pop that makes me happy and like I don't have to. I mean, you don't have to think too much about it, but like there are deep lyrics in some of the tracks. But I'm like, she's my number one. First concert I ever went to.
So good.
And
Which one? Which tour?
It was her first tour. I was 7 years old. It was
like
the
her
baby.
mall
It was
tour?
a Baby One More Time tour. No, not the mall tour.
Okay.
Her first big tour. I was 7.
Is she opening or is she headlining this tour?
She was opening her tour.
Was it for NSYNC?
No, it was the Baby One More Time tour.
Oh, it's her headline
it's her
tour. Okay. Because I saw her, I think, when she opened for NSYNC, but I forgot what tour that was.
I went to that. I went to Circus. I went to Femme Fatale. I went to...
Did you go to Onyx Hotel?
No.
That was
because then I think it got canceled in Miami, like after they were supposed to come to Boston or something. I'm not sure.
See.
But then I got to meet her in Vegas. Regrets, but like...
Wait, why?
Because it was like, it was the conservatorship, but I didn't know.
Yeah, same.
However, when I got to meet her for Piece of Me, and it was in the beginning when she had like the mermaid hair, it was so fun. Her team invited us out to go to the show and visit. It was the best night of my life, and I got to say you're the first, I met you when I was 7 years old, and this is such a moment, and like...
How was she?
Sweet, but it was just like, it's quick, meet and greets, like that's... type R.
I didn't get one word from her, but I was fine. Like you said, hindsight knowing, and I knew it even at the time. Like I knew there was just like a lot going on and a lot happening, even though you didn't really know. And then like hearing about all the stuff after, like what she was going through at that time, because me and Gigi went like 2012 or something to Piece of Me, and they like rushed through.
Yeah.
And I think at first you're like disappointed. She's like, oh, I thought we'd be best friends, but that's like the parasocial in me, right? That thinks, and then you're like, okay, I kind of understand. She was going like through so much.
Yeah.
So when she was dating, I think Charli, she had like
I
the
love
name.
them together.
Yeah, they were kind of cute.
The jean jacket.
I love that.
I loved him too.
I know she likes to be in love, so I do hope she finds. I kind of thought Sam was end goal with her. Like I kind of thought that for a minute because they were gonna have a baby. Like I really thought it was gonna be the real deal.
I don't know if I saw it. I'm like,
never.
Not that he's too fine because I think he's a handsome guy, but I'm like, there's something not correct. I don't know if it was the age or just like maybe that he wasn't established or something. I think she needs like somebody who's established, knows who they are, maybe a couple years older, who like doesn't like the limelight, maybe.
Well, that's kind of what we were talking about before, too, how it's like sometimes when you have two people who like want to be a star, right? Like Sam wasn't a star, but maybe wanted to be and thought Britney was like his like ticket there. And then when people were kind of not really paying attention to him, probably like he thought they would, he was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with you. Someone who doesn't care about being in the star, someone that could just like support her, help her. Kind of like in The Bodyguard, like how Kevin Costner was to Whitney Houston.
Yes. And
you know?
kind of like when Mariah dated that like billionaire from Australia who was hideous.
Yeah.
Oops.
But
you know what I mean?
needs.
That's what she needs. Like, you live in Australia for a month, come to LA for a
Yes.
month. Like, let me do my thing. But she needs, it's the people around you. And I just
know.
hate that she doesn't have, like, good, solid people.
I know. I always do. Again, parasocial me. But whenever I see her, she lives in our area. And every time I see her, I always want to, like, just, like, say hi. Like, I want to be, but I never take pictures of her.
I would
Never. You know what I mean? Like, and you want to so bad because I always want to show most. I want to show somebody, like, oh my God, I saw Britney. But it's, like, just the memory, just seeing her. And I'm just like.
It's almost, like, more. It's you keep it close to your heart when you see somebody in person. You're like, hi, I'm like, I really adore you, and you know, I appreciate all you've done, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'll say a word sometimes, but like not anymore. I saw RuPaul once when I like was first moving to LA. I was getting a smoothie, and I just like was 10 feet away, and it just like took in the moment. I'm like, this is so cool.
Really? Did you hi to him?
No, I didn't, because
you
I'm
just
like,
took
I
it
don't
in.
need to. I'm like, I'll see you one day. And I was at like the Drag Race showing, and I saw him years later and interviewed and stuff like that.
I wonder what he would be like in person.
He's very
standoffish, probably, right?
I think he's also he's like 4 inches taller than me.
Really?
So he's very, very tall. I went to his book tour because my friend was producing the book tour, and I drove up to Santa Barbara. It was a very intimate audience. He's so effervescent and charming and kind. Like, it wasn't a meet and greet or anything, but he was like speaking. You know, when you speak to somebody and they're like, you feel that you're talking to your heart. Like, it was just so like so wise. And I don't think I'd ever want to like work together or meet. Like, not that I would, but you know, like who knows?
You wouldn't work together with him.
No, like it's just like a relationship that I'm like, I love that in my head. I love his books.
Yeah.
And
you like the recent one, the latest one?
Yeah, I do love it.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was
there's
controversy there, wasn't
a
there?
little bit. Yeah, there wasn't a ton really about like hot topics though. So it was more about his personal life and upbringing.
Was there something political in there or something that people were upset with? There was something that people were mad about. I don't even know.
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay,
I don't.
Maybe.
It's past probably. It wasn't a big
people
deal.
will get over it. Did you like Britney's book?
I did. I read it. You know what's crazy? I was in Italy when it dropped, and I couldn't get the pre-order from Amazon like shipped to me. So I bought it in Italian, and I'm there like reading it, and I can speak Italian, but I was like, I need the US version. So I got Audible. I mean, I finished it in a night, and I listened to it as well because I wanted to hear
Michelle Williams' narration.
Yes.
I wish she would have read it.
Yo, what's up? What's up? So corny and cringy.
It was.
JT, not Michelle.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I like her interpretation of it, though. Yeah, JT's canceled now.
Yeah.
Like, actually.
The thing is, I knew everything in the book for the most. I know.
Did you?
Knew 90%.
Did you know this stuff about her and Justin's like baby and?
I heard rumblings. I mean, there are some like intimate things I didn't know, but like the more like standard facts, obviously we all know.
Who would you pick for Britney in the movie?
Oh my gosh. I don't know her name. I think she's like 16 now. She's a child actress who's like not up and coming. She's still on Disney. I'm so sorry, I don't know her name, but she looks identical to her.
Oh, I don't know if I know this person.
Yeah, she has brown eyes. She can sing really, really, really well. We'll try to pop in a picture in the name.
Okay,
or
yeah,
something.
let me know.
But she's perfect because I don't think she needs somebody young to play her, but who through makeup can look older as well.
Don't you think? I still think Addison Rae.
I could see that.
Her, right?
I could see that.
She's like young enough and she's pop star vibe. She'd pull her.
And she loves her.
She loves her.
Yeah.
They're both from Louisiana.
Yeah.
She has the moves. I'm like so gung ho for Addison Rae to play her because also is like known, but not like established, right? You can't have like a Sabrina Carpenter play her because then you just see like Sabrina Carpenter. I love her.
She's
but like,
too established.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And not that Addison's not, but I feel like she could also be taken so seriously. It's like J-Lo when she got to play Selena. You know, it's like, wow, that'll like. So I really feel for. I really want her.
Part of me wants like. Maybe not an unknown, but like not such big of a name. So that's why I was thinking of that girl. But she's like a really great actress too. I remember her. She played like, oh, you know what? She was in, she plays a younger version in Chilling Tales of Sabrina. The main actress, the blonde.
Chilling Tales of Sabrina, like Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
No, the reboot. We're speaking different languages now. We're in different decades.
Wait, what's the reboot?
The reboot is Chilling Tales of Sabrina.
Oh, Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yes.
Same character.
Same character, but like obviously different actress.
Oh, Oh, okay. But it's in the same world.
It's a CW show. Yeah. It's the same world.
Okay, I thought
witches
so. I was like...
and everything, but it's more like, it's a bit darker and not like a comedy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I lived for Sabrina the Teenage Witch kind of back
I
in
need
the
to
day.
find her name. She's so good. She's so
Okay,
good.
yeah, we'll have to insert a picture because I'm really like big on this casting. I'm like, who would play Justin? Who would play this? Like, I'm really trying to figure all out in my head, but or like who would play like Jamie Spears, like or you know, or Jamie Lynn.
I want Jamie Lynn to play Jamie Lynn, honestly. Just be a mess.
Oh my God, curse the movie though. I would feel like
I know, girl. Give
I don't
it
know
up.
who would play her, but I love Sabrina. And you know, Brittany was on Sabrina. We were talking about cameos, the Brittany ones.
Yeah.
Everyone knows I'm obsessed with. Thanks to this podcast, people got me on Jane the Virgin because Justin Baldoni was in that like Hot Topic controversy, and everyone's like, you should watch Jane the Virgin. So I started watching Jane the Virgin, and like yesterday I got to the episode with Britney Spears, and I was like, God, she really is iconic and everything.
Yeah.
The way she like just comes onto the screen with like her dancers,
I know.
and she's like, I'm stronger than yesterday.
You know, she was wearing like a Forever 21 like little top and shorts.
She had like a teal like top and outfit. Her teal extensions.
I know. It was a lot.
But she crushes. Even in Sabrina, I remember
absolutely.
she pops in and she's like doing a tour and I was just like, I just love her.
I think she has just that natural, like almost like comedic timing. And like when she's on camera, you like can't help but like fall in love with her.
That's why I feel like a movie, like not her movie, but I feel like Joseph or something like that would make it like such a big comeback for her. I think she'd be so good in it. And I think it'd
be good. Yeah. We want the best for her.
Or Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really...
Too good.
Could you
Maybe as a
imagine
judge. No, I don't think she ever wants to do that.
I guess she was, what was it, X Factor she was on? Are you watching reality TV at all right now?
You know, you mentioned the other day, I started watching on TikTok, the Mormon wives.
Yes. This is all over TikTok right now. Yes.
I'm going to let you take this away and I'm just going to chime in because it's a lot to like, for me, who is not a normal watcher. I'm like, this is crazy. Because I know Mormons.
Do you?
I know a few Mormons and they're very suspicious.
Wait, why?
I don't know. They're very guarded. They don't open up. They like.
Wait, really? Every Mormon I know seems so wonderful. Like Donnie and Marie Osmond. I don't know them that well. But they
I'm
seem
talking
very
about like not celebrities. You know, I'm talking about normal people. I'm like, what's going on here?
Well, this show made me look at Mormons.
Norman.
Where's Norman? They did make me look at it. I'm like, Siwa. Did you have something to say about the Mormons over there? You had your microphone.
No, I mean, they are kind of like it's almost cultish.
It is a cult.
So, I think they're very guarded and very. They're kind of afraid to actually admit to their own personal, intimate lives.
I know a lot of queer men who used to or grew up Mormon. And their lives, like, it took them a long time to come into themselves, to accept themselves, for their family to accept them.
Oh, really? But now it's LGBTQ friendly, the Mormon world.
I think every religion has to say that now. Like, I grew up in the church as well. Like, a lot of churches, even on the East Coast.
Catholic or?
So my family's Greek Orthodox. Okay. But I went to Christian school. So I was kind of, like, in the mix of it all. Lore there as well. Okay. But, like, a lot of churches have, like, pride flags. But, like, I think that's all marketing.
Well, I guess that's better than
it's better
being
than not.
homophobic,
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know, to be like, we love the gays.
Yeah, the Mormon guys that I know, like, had a really rough time. So I can only,
specifically more than you think the people that went to school with you, like Christians. I guess they're all Christian, kind of, but...
I mean, I got expelled, so I guess, like, I went through my own trauma. For a lot of things. I mean, I choreographed I'm a Slave for You to Daniel in the Lion's Den, a production that I put on in 5th grade.
What does that mean? You did the like movements
everything full on.
And they expelled you?
No, they suspended me for that.
Why?
I ended up getting expelled later on for some.
What was it? Distracting? Like what was their?
It was sinful. Like I wasn't allowed to go trick or treating. I wasn't allowed to have anything like to do with luck or Halloween. It was of the devil.
Luck?
I had luck, like Lucky Charms or like anything that had anything mystical or anything like secular. I wasn't allowed to like partake in. My locker. Poster of GQ spread of Lindsay Lohan, poster of Britney Spears. I had a picture of Wilmer Valderrama with an X through it because he was dating Lindsay at the time. I got like in detention for that too.
Love that. Wait, why?
Because it's sinful. I mean, to them. It was like a cult. I was in detention
because they were
every
like
day.
Sexy girls up in your locker?
Sexy girls. This is of the world. This is secular. You need to only read the Bible. And I questioned everything. I'm like, why do I need to read the Bible? Like, why are you bullying me?
The Bible wasn't written by Jesus. You know, it's written by like people around him or God or whoever.
I mean, to each their own. I think religion is a fabulous thing if you want to be spiritual, whatever. Yeah. If you want to hold on to something, but forcing it down is crazy. So take it away with the Mormonism.
No, for sure. Yeah. So this is crazy because I was never into it. Like, there was Mom Talk. Did you ever follow that on TikTok?
Yes.
So there was like Mom Talk, and it was like these so I became aware of them from the swingers. So like basically there was like a bunch of Mormon moms. They all like look very similar. I guess that's how they all look up in Salt Lake City. They all have like this very similar look, and I guess they were like swinging. So it was like Taylor Frankie Paul was like the main. Do you know her?
Yes.
So she's like the main, and then it all came out like she's like divorcing her husband. And Mormons are known to get married very young, like in general, have lots of kids, be fruitful.
And it's for life.
Yeah, for life. So it was like this crazy thing when she was like divorcing her husband. They had kids. What was the most shocking thing? So Taylor Frankie Paul was on. Do you know Viall Files? You know Nick Viall?
Of course.
Okay. Why do you say it like that?
I'm not that big of a fan.
Same. No,
I'm not into it.
Yeah,
but
anyway,
I know him.
He had Taylor Frankie Paul, and I think the most shocking thing, she was talking about the swinging scandal, and it's like, I don't judge, but she was saying that they were swinging downstairs while their kids were upstairs.
Oh my God.
And I was like, first of all, why would you admit that? So that was like part of the thing. But they guess they got their own show. And I remember this when this all happened because we're filming our own show. And I feel like everyone's always filming a reality show and it never goes anywhere. But this was like front page of Hulu. So I was like, oh my gosh, this happened. So basically it's this group of Mormon moms. They're all in awful relationships, by the way. I'm just going to say that. It's a reality show. The only reason I'm judging is because they're putting it out there to judge, right? Like, no way in hell would I be like, let's do I would never be on Real Housewives. I'm not going to put myself out there to judge because I think we have a really great relationship. But, people are going to find.
Yeah.
So,
you end up being the hot topic.
Yeah, exactly. Which, I can handle sometimes. Yeah. But I'd rather talk about hot topics and not be them.
Exactly.
Very Wendy when she was very much just like, oh, I'm the hot topic.
Talk?
Yeah, what did she
She said, who am I to judge when I talk about the hot topics and I'm the hot topic?
Oh, yeah. And she was, I'd ask you to respect my privacy, but I wouldn't. Yeah, and I do love that about her because that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
But so that's the only reason I'm even talking about the relationships. But they're all these awful relationships. Mostly I would blame the men again in these relationships. I don't know if they feel like they have to be a certain way in the Mormon, maybe like you said, maybe they feel like they have to be a certain way. Maybe they can't fully be themselves. I'm not saying they're gay or queer, but maybe they couldn't explore. Maybe they couldn't be themselves because there's just so much almost hatred or resentment between a lot of the couples, right? Like the one, I literally don't know any of their names except for Taylor, Frankie Paul, and Whitney. The other ones, I love them. They're all so gorgeous. And here's the thing. I always wanted to be the pretty skinny girl. But after seeing them all look so similar and not being able to pick them out, I'm like, I don't think I'd rather look like me than that. Because, again, they're gorgeous. And that's what I thought I always wanted. But watching the show where they all look the same, I'm like, I don't think I'd want to be just like everyone else where you couldn't pick out my name.
Yeah, it's like that meme of Christian Girl Autumn and they all look exactly the same. Yes. And they're all wearing a chunky sweater and heels.
Yeah.
It's very that.
I did want to be those girls, especially the beauty girls. I did want to be those girls. Right? Yeah. With the extensions. Yeah. And they all, but what is a little eerie. I'm not saying this about Mormons, just the people they specified on this show, which I'm sure the Mormons probably hate this show, but they probably think this is not what we want. But they all look very similar to their partners too. They all have they look like each other. And I'm like, that's kind of scary. But anyways, the one was going up to Chippendale. They were all going to Chippendales, and the one husband literally is like, okay, well, I guess have fun being divorced with your children. Not having your children when you come back. I was just like, that's so weird, and they're so controlling. And I just feel like it was. Then there was one that was on Tinder. I think Whitney's husband was on Tinder, and they moved to Hawaii to escape it, but then they came back from the show. Whitney was the one whose baby had RSV and was in the NICU or something, and she was doing the little TikTok dance. Do you remember that?
Right.
Yeah, she was that woman, and I was just like, oh my God. So basically, she was complaining that Taylor Frankie Paul was forgiven for the swinging scandal, but she couldn't be forgiven for dancing next to her baby who had RSV. But I was like, that's two totally different things. I guess the thing is I guess people always want to watch Messy. Apparently, The Real Housewives of Salt Lake is the best housewife franchise, so there must be something.
It's very Mormon coded there, obviously.
Yeah, so...
I think a lot of the men are gay, actually, and I think that's probably why they have a lot of marital problems and a lot of issues and a lot of attitude. But it's crazy to put all of that out there. Your kids are going to watch that. And, I understand being open and, being entertaining, but it's almost too personal.
To say, the kids are upstairs while we're swinging, I'm lie about that.
First
Be
of all,
oh, they're
jail
with my...
at this point.
No, but actually, I was like, that's a weird thing to, say. And again, respect for being real and open, but kind of... And like you said, I think when you do have kids, too, and as young age, but like you kind of said, it's they are kind of conditioned to get married so young. So, these guys, they have... I always thought that too. Who was it? Who's the other one? Cody with Sister Wives.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
They're coming back, and it's the same thing.
They're coming back.
They're coming back. Well, she has no wives anymore. I think she just has one.
Just one wife.
Yeah, just one wife. And I'm just but he was so mean to his wives, and he said, I wasn't sexually attracted to you, and I was just what is this on TV?
Yeah.
When you have so many children involved, it is so weird. I like Utah. I like the famous Mormons I know I love. Like Julian Huff seems sweet. Like I don't know. Mormons, I love the Book of Mormon. Although that's kind of problematic too. But I think when you take out the problematic parts of it, it's a good musical. But I think that doesn't help the Mormon community. But maybe they're not real Mormons, right?
No, I mean, I'm sure there's something financial under cover of it all, like some sort of scamation, MLM or something.
Wait, really? Wait,
absolutely.
The Mormon church or the show?
All of it.
Okay.
All of it. I think every religion hides something.
Yeah.
And, covers something up. And there's some sort of scam.
The money donations always think, not just the Mormon church. I think Mormon church you have to give like, what is it, like 10% or like 90? I don't know. You have to give a large percentage of the church. But with every religion too, I grew up Catholic. It's like you have to give money in the offering. And I always think that's like, I guess to build new.
And it's all allegedly. We know nothing. We know nothing about the Mormon church.
Scams.
It's all alleged.
This is all alleged knowledge.
Yeah, we know nothing.
We know nothing. We're just here to we're jokers in the court.
I always say that. I'm like, I know. I literally know nothing. Sometimes I'm like, is that? I don't know. It's fascinating. And then at the beginning, they're all wearing like blue coats, and I'm like, I didn't know that. The only thing I knew about Mormon was the show we watched, Andrew Garfield. Did you watch that one, Under the Banner of Heaven?
No.
It was like he's like this detective in this Mormon world. I think Rory Culkin's in it. Okay. They wear the like Mormon underwear and stuff like that. So that's all I know. And I just feel like maybe they get a bad rap. Honestly, I know we have Mormons that watch us, so you guys can go in the comments and let us know. Shout out to the Mormons. Yeah, I think these people are maybe not an accurate portrayal of Mormons.
Right. I don't think so. I mean, is anything on TV an accurate portrayal of like what it is in real life? I don't think so. Like Cody with Sister Wives, I'm sure a lot of the Mormons are like, not us, Yeah. Should we do Mormon cosplay next week?
I did a Mormon cosplay.
You did what?
I was Elder Patus. I had my little thing, but it was from Book of Mormon. I love Andrew Reynolds, so I did a little Andrew Reynolds. Yeah,
Mormon Girl Autumn or something.
That would be cute. What would you dress as? The ones that go door to door, or would you be like in the garb?
I feel like you would have like a blonde wig that would be like wavy down to long. Oh, a chunky knit sweater, just like look like beige everything.
Oh, like the Mormon Wives on Hulu. Yes, for sure. That I would love to. I don't think there's no fat Mormons. I never see one on TV.
That's rude.
Right? Maybe they have some like dietary restriction.
They're very exclusive.
I never see that. And you haven't been in a relationship since Joey.
No, it took me, I went through a heartbreak, it was together for a long time. And then COVID too, that like made it exacerbated like the depression of it all.
Yeah. Oh, were you guys not together during COVID?
No. So we didn't announce. We broke up February, right before COVID happened. I think COVID landed in March, I believe. Yeah. We broke up in end of February, and then everything going on in the world, like that first like 6 months of the year were the world was ending. Yeah,
it was and then there were like and fires. And,
like literally people being murdered by the police. Like it was crazy. And I'm like, girl, we're not announcing a breakup right now. This is not a serious thing. But we did it after the fact. I think we did it in July. And by
2020?
Of 2020.
Oh,
we announced it. We announced it, yeah. And then we were living together for the first 6 months because I'm like, global pandemic, hello. Like, what's going to happen? And I was in Italy at the time of the pandemic outbreak, actually. I was there for Fashion Week for a thing. It was fabulous, eating all the pasta and everything. And then the outbreak happened in Italy. I was the last plane to leave Milan, flew to LA, went through a breakup. Then we lived together. And honestly, things were great. Like during the breakup and everything, it was great.
Really?
Yeah, my friend Madeleine was living with us during COVID, that 6 months. And then, we announced it and...
Oh my God.
It was crazy.
It was great, were you guys like, maybe we shouldn't break up?
There were thoughts, and then I'm like, nah, I gotta go. But like, I went to Montana for a couple months, cleared my head, and I haven't dated since. I'm very happy right now, though.
That's good.
Yeah,
just living your life.
Yeah, I've met a really, really amazing person, like through the year, a couple amazing people through the years. Like I'm a connection person. Yeah. I'm not on dating apps. I like a meet cute, just like meeting kind of by chance. Mm-hmm. And I've always been lucky in love to like be guided towards a good person. And,
but just not your soulmate.
No, I mean, we'll see. But in the moment, I'm really happy.
You could probably have multiple soulmates. Like I think
so too. Yeah. Different chapters. You have different needs, different, as we grow and. Sometimes it's one person. Sometimes that doesn't work out. Sometimes there's another person, multiple people. Who knows?
You guys were always couple goals. Like I always love that you did. I know we were talking a little bit before how you like it's kind of hard to like date and work with someone, but I love it. Like we work together 24/7, and it's like amazing. But it does scare me in that sense where you guys are like, well, just like fizzle. I mean, how does it fizzle? Because not only do you have the love, but like even if love fizzles, you have other things like partnership, kids, like businesses. Yeah. So it's like, don't you just stay together for one thing and maybe the others will come later?
Yeah, I think we're also like we're early 20s when we started, and also he was really annoying. You know, in videos, I'm like, why are you playing with Orbeez? Like, I grew up very quickly. I'm like, what's with the Orbeez and the slime and the cutting open toys? I'm like, there is something going on here. Yeah,
Shane was doing it too.
I'm like,
slime.
now 1 million views for opening a toy.
It's crazy.
Send them over. We're opening up. We're gonna jump into an Orbeez bath right now.
Number one hater Orbeez.
Yeah.
But you know what? They're literally the most dangerous things for kids. Like if you have them in the house, they'll literally like swell up in there. Like anything with little beads, I'm like absolutely.
Do you know how I got those Orbeez out of our clawfoot bathtub? I had to put them in bags.
What's a clawfoot bathtub?
It's just like a very like big like bag tub with like claw feet. It's like Victorian, like very Bridgerton coded.
Love that.
Yeah. That's how it's like, very Bridgerton coded.
I love it.
So we filled the bathtub, and then I had to like post-production was scooping it out in maybe like 10 trash bags. I put it out, and stupidly they're filled with water. I didn't realize they were gonna be so heavy. I put them into the trash barrel. The trash barrel stayed out there maybe 3 months because the trash guys couldn't pick up the barrel. So I had to like stab the bottom, drill in holes with a bit, and all the water was pouring out. It was awful.
My gosh.
They got in our lawn. It was every time it rained, they would like get big. I'm like, these are jumbo Orbeez too. They're not the normal ones.
They you can never get rid of them. They're like gremlins. They like multiply.
Yeah, it's awful.
We had it too. I remember our first couple months of dating. You're like, we had Orbeez in like a bath or something, and he's like scrubbing like all over the grass. I was like, what the hell? It was so weird.
That was like beyond. Like I got to a point where I'm like, it was actually 2018 where I'm like, I don't want to be in any of your videos anymore, and you're gonna hire a producer.
Wow.
Yeah, and
so you
also
stopped
like
producing the videos.
I would have produced some of the bigger ones, but like I'm no longer a talent with you. I can't because also I started reading the comments then.
Never read the
comments. And I was very comfortable in a relationship. I think I had like, I don't know, I gained like 10 pounds or something, but like I'm tall.
Yeah.
Like, it goes to my face, and like obviously we see I'm chiseled and like fit and happy and good. And where I'm supposed to be, but like it wasn't anything. 10 pounds is nothing. But people will say, you read one comment in like 1,000 kind ones, and they're like, he's a user, he's riding coattails, he's fat, like, he gained weight. I'm like, girl, I don't even have a YouTube channel. Like, what?
Yeah, never read the comments. Were you reading like Guru Gossiper back then?
Oh, I sure was.
That's the worst. They're more brutal than Reddit. They are crazy.
And they're weird. Like, grown-ups who are, like, these are 50-year-old men who are obsessed with boys in their 20s, like, wanting, us for our nudes to leak, all this stuff. I'm like, this is so sick. And also older women, too. There were, like, a lot of older women who like cat ladies. Shout out to cats, we love cats. But like, you know what I mean? Like they're at home, they're like addicted to consuming media like on YouTube, and like they get like an obsessive. I mean, you've had questionable characters be obsessed with you online, I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe, but I do think like, especially like hot young gay guys.
Right.
And I get that, and I try not to be that weirdo lady too, because I do find like, I love like I get weirdly into like gay couples, and I'm very invested in them more than
you're
like
supporting.
straight.
You're not like obsessed and want like to marry them. What?
Well, you know, I did find out Matt Bomer was married with 3 kids. I was like, oh, okay, maybe not for me then.
His husband's an agent.
Oh, damn.
He's like a heavy hitter in the
I know. I do get a little bit obsessed in that way too sometimes with gay men. I don't know. I don't know if it's because it's like I feel like they can never hurt me, so I'm like, I'm attracted to you because I've always been attracted to gay men.
You're an admirer.
Yeah. Maybe a little too much sometimes. I've dated some gay people. A lot, by the way. Everyone always thinks I'm talking about one gay person I've dated. It's like, no, I've dated quite a few.
I've heard. I remember those stories back in the day.
Yeah.
The like actor from some show or something. I'm like, holy shit.
I really did. And I don't know if they were like just playing with it because it was cute and fun, or like they maybe were queer or open.
They probably
or maybe
were. And just like also that generation, like a lot of them just don't come out and they're not able to. And especially for work, even now as a queer actor, like it's hard to book work. Matt Bomer, like, he got lucky, but I don't think he was outwardly, like, on the cover of, like, Out Magazine or doing stuff until more recently.
You're right. Who is that?
And he's what? I think he's like 50, 40s, late 40s?
Yeah, we're actually, I know this too. This is, I don't know too much. He's actually Moses' age, and Jonathan Bailey is my age. Okay. Jonathan Bailey is 13 days older than me, and Matt Bomer is 13 days older than Moses.
I love the math. You have it on the calendar.
77 and 88.
You're like, happy birthday. Okay.
I know it so well. And we're both Tauruses, me and Jonathan Bailey, so I know this very well. And they're both Oh, no, you're end of Scorpio. Anyways, so I do know this. But yeah, you're right. And that's why I really do love Jonathan Bailey too. I love that he's like just so out, but gets to play all the roles, right? You know, he gets to play gay fellow travelers, but also straight.
I think that's cool. Not everybody gets that opportunity though, because you're typecasted. And however, I think he started. Did he start in theater?
He did, yes. He did like I think Les
that's the great, that's the great way to go, because you can kind of go in any direction from there.
And there are so many like straight and open and queer, and Alan Cumming is bi, he's still bi. Like I feel like it is theater is great. That's why I love musical theater too.
Yeah.
It's very open to everyone and everything. But I think it was Chris Colfer actually who said that he didn't want to come out as gay because he thought it would hurt his career, even though like he played a very
yeah, the door was glass and beaded.
Aw,
I know. We love.
Scared. Yeah, he has like 14 books. He's like an author who like writes so many books now. But he thought it was like, yeah, he didn't want to like come out, and that is interesting.
It's true. No, it is true
because you
for
get,
sure.
yeah, I guess you.
When I was auditioning, I was told that I need to dial down the queerness. And I'm like, I have a really deep voice. I do have octaves and like levels when I speak because I'm like eccentric. But there were many casting directors that were like, they're gonna hire a straight actor to like play queer, and then the role comes out and I'm like,
to play queer.
Yeah, I'm like, you didn't eat that, but your father's a producer in the industry, so I get it now. Cool.
Interesting.
I got super bitter, but then I'm like, you can't be bitter about it because everybody has their own path, and like the things that don't work out will open doors in the future.
I agree. I totally agree with that. I do feel though, like if you're playing someone like Freddie Mercury, right, who's like a gay icon, like don't you think, or even Elton John,
absolutely,
like why wouldn't you? Because there are so many amazing like queer actors. Like why wouldn't you give them that role?
You know what I say is like, who is the best for the role? Give it. I think it should be given to the minority, to the queer person who's representing a queer character.
I think so too. I think people are like scared to say that but I think it's like a really, just like in the new Wicked, Nessa Rose, like they definitely, because I think was it Glee, I think he wasn't in a wheelchair, the actor, Kevin McHale. So so it's like, why? And then later on they had I think she won a Tony for Oklahoma, like an actress. But I feel like if you can give it to someone who, there's like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Are you watching?
I'm watching because I love Rachel Zegler.
Yeah.
But,
do you love?
But, well, I think the controversy, right, is like why.
Is it Little People?
I think they called. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it might be a little person.
Okay.
An LP.
LP.
Yeah.
And so they had I guess what you call just like average size people, and then this new one they do CGI because they got backlash. CGI. Yeah.
I don't like that.
But all the animals look realistic, and you're just like, okay, but why wouldn't you have? I think in Hacks that was a whole storyline was that Deborah. We always forget her name. Deborah Vance, right? Is that her name, Deborah?
Yeah.
Okay. She hired little people actors to play elves to hand out her Christmas invitations, and Ava was like, you can't do that, whatever. But then the little people actors were like, this is like the jobs that we get hired for. So I feel like with Snow White, you could have given 7 of those actors these like big roles in a huge Disney thing and then didn't. So I just don't know how they did it when they reshot everything, how they missed the mark with that, because that would have been, I think most people would agree. I think it was Peter Dinklage who was like, that shouldn't be the case. But all the other little actors were like, I would like to play those roles.
No, I mean, I think it's just everybody should have an opportunity to play a character that they want to play and be who they want to be and like have it be authentic, because like that's empowering to every community, and that's what entertainment's about.
Yeah.
Like we're here to entertain.
Yeah.
Like let people be entertained. If you can't see yourself on a screen, then you're always going to feel weird about yourself.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like that's then you're like so much more seen and all this stuff. Which is why I got into Bridgerton, because when they had like a plus size actress, even though she's very small and petite in my eyes.
She's also to me, she's short and like tiny. Like
she's very tiny. And again, the cast whoever, she's obviously gorgeous, but like, when they describe her in the book as being very like large and ugly, I'm like, she's very petite and pretty.
Right.
Which, I mean, I get it. It's Hollywood, whatever. But yeah, like size comparison, right? I showed this on my TikTok. It's like her next to like Luke Newton, who played Colin. Like she is very tiny. Put me next to Moses, and I'm literally like twice the size, which is like fine. It's like, but again, if you're comparing bodies, like, oh, she's a petite person next to whatever.
Right.
But,
I mean, I think obviously there's like sizeism and entertainment, and like even like when they're like, oh, we have plus size models, I'm like, that's a normal person. Like, what?
I know. That is Hollywood. I do like to see in the new Wicked, the Shen, I think is the character's name, who's like, she's not, I don't like to say plus size either. I don't want to like ever offend anyone. I say plus size, I call myself fat, whatever, but she's like not a size 0, and I love that, because in the plays, like a lot of times, and Bowen Yang, I think that character's usually a female. Maybe not in the book, but I like that Bowen Yang is.
Got it.
I love Wicked. I'm very excited to see it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
How again did we go there? We were talking about what? Where did that come from? I go on these tangents.
We're one with the wind. We're just like
I know, when you're like, should we talk about hot topics? I was like, it really is chaotic.
Well, I'm used to like, okay, this, and this, and now I'm like, okay.
I know, I didn't know. Usually, like,
we're keeping it on track.
Right, like where we're at. I have like things I always want to hit, but Do you ever watch Dairy Girls on Netflix? Have you ever
I
seen
love Dairy Girls.
I love Dairy Girls, too.
I have only watched the clips, but I love that show. I know.
You gotta watch the show.
No, I started season 1 recently, but I was traveling, so I didn't get like fully into it.
Have you been to Dairy Ireland?
No.
I want to go.
I love Ireland, though.
That was good.
I can do an accent.
Let's hear it.
Oh, well.
Just that part.
No.
Okay.
No, I can do a lot. I can do British.
Wait, can you do a British accent? I love accents, too.
Trisha Paytas. Of course I can do an accent.
Ooh, that sounds a little Bridgerton. Or a little Hugh Grant. That was a little Hugh Grant.
Oh, yeah, that's a little Hugh Grant.
There's different, because like Dairy, I feel like they have such the Irish,
it's
really
like
bad.
twang. It's like, yeah.
They're like, my body's starving.
What the f*** you doing, mate?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's serious. Like, I think it's about to shut down, Michelle. We all got to shut down. That sounds a little witchy, though. Maybe not. I think I'm not doing it right, but I love...
We'll do a reenactment.
I love Ireland. We talk about Ireland a lot. Shout out to all the Irish people.
Shout out to Ireland. We love you. I have been to the Cliffs of Moher, and it was stunning.
Ooh, that was good.
Really good.
That was really good.
No, we did...
Is that Game of Thrones over there, that cliff?
Something Stonehenge. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot of rocks.
Is that real? I thought Stonehenge was like a myth.
It's real. We drove by. I'm like, I don't need to stop. I've seen one Stonehenge. You've seen them all.
Isn't that like one of the like... Not like Loch Ness Monster. Like, isn't it like...
No, I think it's like one of the 7 wonders of the world.
Oh, I thought it was like... What is the Loch Ness Monster? What is that considered? Like Bigfoot? What are those things called?
Yeah, it's like folklore and fables.
And that's how Stonehenge was that?
No, it's giant rocks. It's like the Easter egg heads.
Easter egg heads?
Yeah, they're like the Easter Island heads. Yeah. Not Easter egg heads. They're just these pink Easter eggs.
They're in Ireland?
No, those are in like
Machu
Hawaii
Picchu.
Machu Picchu. Okay.
Oh my God. But you've been to Ireland.
What? I've been to Ireland. I was also supposed to go to Machu Picchu last year, but it got rained out.
Where's Machu Picchu?
It's in Peru. I was supposed to go on a hiking trip and hike Machu Picchu.
Okay, Peru is where?
Europe? Like near Argentina. No, South America.
I know. You know, that's one thing I don't know any American
It's okay.
down there. I need
to know.
This.
You know the pink checkerboard. That's what you need to know.
Checkerboard. Geography is not my strong point, but I would love to go.
I won the geography bowl in 8th grade, so I kind of know
Did you?
How I feel about it.
Oh my God, you're like so smart. You really are, but you are very smart. How did you know? Like, what did you have to do to win that?
I just like loved looking at maps when I was a kid because I love like ships, so I would study like ship guides. I love the Titanic. I know everything there is to know about the Titanic. I'm a huge fan of like just the ocean and travel, like airplanes, like Pan American Airlines, like the history of all of like travel. I used to just like look at places on the world. I'm like, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there.
I had no idea that about you. Oh my God, you're like, did you guys ever do when you shot the Don't Wait video? Was that in a different country?
No, we wanted to. We actually shot in Montana. So I had Montana's always been a close place to my heart. I've been going there since I was like 7 or 8. My brother went to University of Montana, so I'd spend summers with him when my parents were fighting. I'd visit, and then my roommate in college lived there, and I'm like, okay, let's shoot here. Like, let's go to Glacier National Park. Let's like and guess what? Like Andy, I mean,
did he do that?
Yeah, Andy shot that. And
really?
We went out. And
was it expensive? You can bleep it. I'll bleep it. I want to know how much
No. I don't think it was for what it did and the numbers. I think it's the highest viewed like YouTuber music video, right behind Ava Gutowski's "Literally My Life,"
iconic.
which definitely looks expensive, but definitely didn't cost $50,000. I think it was like 40 or 50,000.
Oh, that's cheap. Yeah, that was like reasonable.
And
back in the day.
I believe it's standing at like 40 or 50 million views right now.
Wow. Yeah. It was such a big... Well, that was his coming out video, right?
Yeah, and it was like we did an artistic way. The song was also like pulled in by H&M when it was on the summer soundtrack, like internationally. It was so crazy.
Don't wait for the world to be ready. Oh,
no, I'm kidding.
No,
it's fierce. It's so good.
It's so good.
And the
video,
you guys
were so good in it.
So great. But yeah, we shot in Montana. We kind of like rogue shot a lot of stuff because I'm like, we didn't get a lot of permits for this stuff. We were shooting at like... We were shooting in May. Yeah, and I also did casting and worked on wardrobe. It was like Andy had his team, but it wasn't where he's like at right now. He's doing like films and amazing stuff.
Yeah, he has like a huge production.
Yeah,
company.
it was so cool to do. And then we filmed like at a school, like on a playground with no permits, like fully illegally.
Gosh.
But nobody was there, so it was
he
fine.
used to shoot like that, like kind of just like.
Yeah, it's like I was calling it a student project.
I love
the
that.
entire time.
Yeah, well, kind of. It's like not really for mass. Well, it was mass consumption, but it wasn't for
No,
TV.
it popped off in a way that was like shocking to both of us.
What year was that? 2014 or 15?
2015 it came out.
Wow.
It'll be 10 years next year, which is wild.
Oh my God, 10 years.
You should host a reunion.
Yes, we're seeing him this weekend. He has a daughter that's Mambo's age.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so we always get to play dates.
I'm so happy for them.
Yeah, no, they're amazing.
happy.
And did you see his movies? Did you see Managing a Family?
No, I didn't, but I got the PR for it. Because I just got home and I saw like a PR box and it came from it.
The little
so
like
I can't wait
popcorn
to see it.
buckets and the little daddy hats and stuff. They had such a good cast. Like I love Andrew.
So
I always thought he was so talented too. I've always gravitated towards like talented people.
His quality of work is amazing. I mean, he's done so many for you. Did he do like all of them in the beginning? Yeah.
No, there's not one I didn't do without him.
That's amazing.
Even up until I think our last one was 2021.
Do you think you'd get back into music?
And I want to do we have a live show coming up in December, like a Christmas show. So I have a Christmas song that I want to do, and I want him to like direct it. But he kind of retired from like YouTuber music videos, but I do think I like this weekend I'll be like, hey, so do you? Because we talked about doing stuff together. So I'm like, hopefully maybe he won't do a music video still. I love music, but it was expensive. It's so expensive,
and well, also the productions that you do very expensive.
I went crazy. You go all out. Well, because I met him around the time Joey was using him, like when Joey did Colorful. Were you with him when he did that?
I wasn't, but I didn't know any of that. Didn't see any of it. I'm like, is this man a pop star or like a YouTuber? I'm like, I don't get it because it was really good.
It looked so legit. I literally always thought that was a Joey Graceffa song.
Well, I was also like, is he straight? He's like kissing a girl in this. I'm like, not from what happened last night.
You're like, maybe he's open. No, he had a straight era for sure because I think Story of My Life with Luke, they were like fighting over a girl in that video too. So yeah, live for that. But I think I met Andrew Valentine that year, 2014. And I remember my first music video was Santa Baby and it cost like $4,000. It was so cheap. But then our last one, our last Sad Boy one cost like $250,000 to shoot. Like we literally did like World War II on a beach.
Yeah, I see that meme to this day. Worth every penny.
That's what I always say.
Your art is just, you know.
I agree. We spent over $10 million. I've done the math. We spent over $10 million over doing 60 music videos together. And
have you made that back from music?
No, definitely not. But you know what? In
iconography.
Other ways. Yeah.
You have more music videos than most pop stars, which is honestly, that's a feat in itself.
It's very true. And we did budget, we did production, and I don't regret any of it. It's before I thought I'd get married or have kids. So I was like, I'm just going to blow all my money. Yeah. And Andrew will come over and he'll be like, oh, sorry. I'm like, no. I'm like, you know, it's like me and Ricky Dillon. It's like, if we are willing to spend this, you know what I mean?
Snoop Dogg has entered the chat.
That's wild.
That's like, you didn't even have Snoop Dogg, so.
I remember getting,
that's crazy.
I think it was Nicki Minaj maybe was like $300,000, and I think Snoop Dogg was $100,000.
Bargain.
Right, kind of. Yeah. But I think part of it was like he wouldn't lip sync in the video. He would just appear in it. Yeah, wouldn't promote it. He had to have his own director do it. So Andrew Valentine didn't shoot the part with Snoop Dogg. Oh, damn. So, but you know what? Ricky's there next to him, and it was kind of iconic. It was a sleigh. I love Ricky. I honestly thought he was just as talented as Troye Sivan. Like, I don't know why he didn't pop off. I was like, honestly, they were like iconic to me at the same time. Do you like Troye Sivan? I'm a huge Troye Sivan fan.
I mean, we did Don't Wait. And then with one of the writers who then had just done Troye's EP and then went on to do Blue Neighborhood.
Oh.
So this was like right when Troye he wasn't even popping off. It was just he was launching a career.
Was he like friends with Tyler Oakley at this point? Is he like in that group?
I think he was friendly. He wasn't really in the group anymore. He had like pulled back for sure.
After. So this is after.
Yeah, this is after.
Because he did a Connor full circle. Did you know that?
I mean, I don't think the world knew it. Of course I knew it.
But I think it's out there now that they discovered Chapel Roan. Did you see that picture of them?
I saw that, yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know they dated.
Yeah, I don't think Troye even knew either. But I mean, I don't think it was public.
But did they date?
I mean, I think there were inklings that like they were like hanging
Is it out there? Hopefully it's out there. Jimmy, correct me if it's not out there. But I
think he mentioned in a podcast, he said my boyfriend at the time, maybe. Yeah. But I didn't know that referred to Troye. It was just like,
I would assume.
Like the sky is blue. Like I always thought. Like,
well, then they had a picture of Troye and him with Chapel Roan. So I think people
okay, got it.
Put it together. Yeah. Which is everything. Yeah. But you so you guys hung out or no?
I think we've only hung out once or twice at an event, not like personal, but like I love his music. I think what he's doing now, like his open and eccentric queerness is fantastic.
His shows are I haven't been to one, but just watching the clips online, I'm like,
I'm excited. I'm gonna miss out on that tour, but I just saw Charli this summer.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where?
When we did, I forget what venue. Was that the Greek maybe? I'm not sure. No, it was downtown. It was downtown. It was when my smoothie launched with Moon Juice.
Did she know about that? Your smoothie?
Her team, yeah. So they
were fine with it?
So the TikTok on it went viral. And then one of the reps at like Atlantic Records or something is friends with my friend who's a manager. And he was like, what's this about? I'm like, oh, it's just, I did it for fun. Like, it's not real.
Yeah.
But the actual smoothie is coming out next week and we're doing proceeds to the LA LGBT Center.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, I'm going to try to get her the smoothie, but she gets in tonight. The show's also tonight. but like we're gonna make it happen. You know how those things happen. It didn't happen, but she knew about it, I guess.
And she was like down. She was like,
yeah, I mean, it's a smoothie. It's fun. We're gonna bring it for the whole production.
That would have been so cool. That was iconic that you got that. What do you think was better, the Brat smoothie that you did, or at Moon Juice, or 143 Katy Perry at Erewhon?
The Brat one, because that's like fully by me. Yeah, I mean the 143 one's great too, and it was cool to work on that. Yeah, it was. I think you would like, because you like grapefruit. Yeah. So it's super.
The grapefruit smoothie?
No, it's orange and pineapple-y, so it gives you that like citrusy kind of thing.
I love a grapefruit.
Yeah, but it's very summery, like end of summery. But the Moon Juice one was like fun because it was like 100% me.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that. And you came up with the ingredients and everything.
Yeah, and then they DM me because I always wanted to work with Erewhon. Like I had like gotten the millions and millions of views through the series, and I see all these little almond girl influencer in LA getting all the Erewhon press and not the PR packages. And I'm like, I don't get anything like that. Like,
wait, really?
Not from Erewhon. Like Erewhon's very specific. Like they only send to one particular demographic, which I'm like,
white girls,
like white skinny supermodels.
Yeah, it's like I'm not.
And
I'm
like,
this
it is
package.
what it is, but it's like this chic like tote bag and everything. And then I think
they give out PR.
Oh yeah, they get PR for every smooth.
They'll send you at Erewhon too, making videos. I love Erewhon. That's crazy.
Same. So I was like, if you can't beat them, join them. I'm gonna make my own smoothie and just like I wasn't even doing it really to troll. It was to get their attention. To like, I'd love to be brought on as like to produce some of your like campaigns and stuff like that. Like as a side thing, make the smoothies, and they didn't do that. I got a letter from an email from my lawyer who was like, hey, like, something's going on, but you're fine. You said at the end of the video like that this isn't real, but just to let you know.
Wait,
like,
that wasn't real. What did you allege?
Because I said that the smoothie wasn't real. Because I kind of made it. I'm like, the smoothie's not real, but if you guys want to tag Erewhon, maybe we can make it happen and get it on the menu. But people didn't watch the whole video.
But I don't understand. Erewhon was like. They thought you were promoting something that wasn't.
No, they wanted me to take down the video essentially.
Okay, well, all this is alleged that they sent. Or no, maybe not that PR. Maybe they sent PR to other people besides skinny white girls.
Allegedly. Our conspiracy, allegedly.
Let us know if you're someone...
I mean, I haven't seen any, but I'm like, you know when you feel excluded? You're like, okay, I'll just do it myself. I mean, obviously.
Escape Tonight.
Yeah, you're like, fine, I'm making my own escape something.
Escape Trish. Like, I was like, yeah, no, for sure. I know it. No, because it does feel that way. You see it all happen. And have they ever collaborated with a queer person?
Have they?
Yeah.
Not that I know of, no. I mean, they collabed recently with Winnie Harlow, but I don't think she's queer, but she's a model. She's, I believe she's African-American. She has vitiligo, and she's fabulous. Like, she reached out on TikTok. She, like, loved the review, whatever. But that's the only person. Everything else has been, like, a supermodel or, like, random. Like, make it more fun.
Right. At least Jake Shane, I think, would get one. He's so popular right now. You think they'd give him a...
I don't know. I mean, it is what it's overpriced. They know their demo. Good for them. And I'm doing my own thing over here.
I feel like Erewhon, though, is lots of gays. When I go.
No, I think it's fake. The gays are there for sure.
Okay.
But when I go there, I'm always uncomfortable because I'm like... I just get, I don't know.
Oh, really?
I'm a Ralph's and Whole Foods person. Like
I love Ralph's. We're Ralph's always. All the way.
Whole Foods is great because they have really affordable food, and it's like I like their produce.
I just don't like that there's no like Lay's potato chips there. They don't have like brands.
That's when you go across the street to Gelson's or to Ralph's. Yeah.
Well, even Gelson's is too bougie.
Is really expensive too.
Yeah, I think and Whole Foods. I remember Joey always going to the Whole Foods at
Loves
3rd Street. Yeah, and he always get the chicken. And so I'd be like, oh, I want to eat at the Whole Foods. And even Oscar's like, yeah, I have to go Joey and eat at Whole Foods, but like it's kind of trash now. The food, like the hot foods.
Yeah, there's a place called Lazy Acres, which is really great. It's like it's Erewhon, but they have all the brands. They have like the big brands,
the
like,
Oreos.
Yeah, they have like unhealthy stuff or whatever, but they have the healthy stuff, and it's all very pretty, very like put together. It's cool.
Yeah, I feel like Erewhon is just like too bougie. They had a Pride smoothie though. Who did that?
No, they didn't have a Pride smoothie.
It was like rainbow. It was like blue.
That was the Winnie Harlow smoothie. It was blue, yellow.
Oh,
and
was.
red, yeah.
Oh, and she's not queer?
No, they've never done anything for Pride or anything like that.
I mean, every brand gets on the Pride. It's like,
I know.
You know?
Yeah. So
it's like the Demure bandwagon.
You have to like,
Little side eye. Well, this is all a legend.
Yeah, but that's why we make our own stuff.
Right,
and get other opportunities and work with brands and companies and get on shows and everything.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I remember, I want to say it's a Joey connection too. Did he get sponsored by like McDonald's or something?
I think so. I'm like, how did you not get that first?
Oh, I was so
The McTrish.
Yeah. Oh.
Where is it?
Oh, yeah. The Trish fillet. Like a fish fillet.
The Trish fillet. Genius. We come up with good names together.
Yeah. It was, but I remember him getting sponsored. Maybe it was Wendy's or something. And I was like, this person hates fast food. Like, he only eats greens. He never eats processed food. And I was like so annoyed. And then someone had told me, they're like, oh, fast food doesn't like collaborate with fat people because they don't want people to think they'll be fat if they ate their food. But it's like, who do you think is eating your food most of the time?
They're trying
you know
reverse
what I mean?
marketing. I'm like, what?
Yeah, they're like, look how hot you'll be. You look like Joey Graceffa if you eat our meal. I'm like, Joey Graceffa's not eating McDonald's.
No,
I don't know if it was
not.
McDonald's that was trying to sponsor
I was vegan with him for 2 years. I wanted to die.
You were vegan for 2 years?
Yes, I think he was vegan longer. It wreaked havoc on my body. I was emaciated. I was tiny. I was like a 29 size waist. Normally I'm a 31,
really?
32. Yeah, I was tiny, but I wasn't strong, and I want to feel like I can lift things and do like gardening and landscaping and all this fun stuff.
Are you eating the yak meat now?
Oh, exclusively. No, Montana is not Wyoming. A lot of people are like, why do you live there? I'm like, totally separate states. No.
It's close.
Montana is for the outdoorsmen, wonderful people, adventuring, and Wyoming is for like farming and crazy people.
And have you tried the yak? You should do number one hater yak meat.
I will be yak meat if I go there. Are you kidding? I will end up like in the freezer.
Wait, why? Oh.
No, just because
general.
like just in general, I have always been outspoken about certain things with that person, and I don't stand for like any hate on like the trans, queer, LGBT community. I think like you need to uplift each other, especially when you have that much power, and to use your voice in a negative way is just like so detrimental.
Do you think it's changed?
No.
Okay.
Darkness, evil.
I don't really follow. I try to.
I don't follow either. I'm blocked on every platform. Okay. Because I think I quote tweeted something once and it was like against the grain. I'm like, how could you as a queer person not fully X, Y, and Z? Like I was standing up for my people, you know?
That's good.
And that's it. And some people can't take the Trish. They can't take the Trish.
Take the Trish.
The tea.
I think in general there is, especially like completely separate conversation, but like older people in general maybe has like a little self-hating because they can't like fully be themselves. Or, you know, people at the time, you think back in like the 90s, again, a completely separate thing, but like in the 90s when people couldn't be out and gay. So maybe they like hate on this new generation that not only can be, but it's almost like, it not only is it accepted, but it's like really cool and trendy, right? Yeah. Like, you know, like lesbians are having the moment, right? But I feel like maybe people who couldn't be so fully out
I think
are a little bit.
It's all stems from insecurity and like sadness within yourself. And like, again, if you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have like a solid foundation of people around you and love and people who care about you, like none of it's worth it.
What would you say your advice to people who doesn't have like the family background? Like you don't have a strong family, but you've been able to find community and friendships and closeness. Like how do you find that, or how do you think you can break a cycle?
You're gonna make me cry because this is the one thing like that gets me. Like growing up, I didn't have the support. I came out, I wasn't accepted by my father. My mom always had my back, but like I grew up in a European household. And the woman is married forever, you know? That's not the case. But I was bullied super heavily. And you just need one person, a friend, even a teacher that you can confide in, a guidance counselor, some person that believes in you. Mm-hmm. And now with the internet and like, you know, vlogging or whatever, you can find that community online. Mm-hmm. You need one person, and that one person grows from 2 to 3 to 10. You find your chosen family. People believe in you and push you and want the best for you. And in anything that you're going through, like you can find your chosen family, because everybody goes through stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody goes through stuff. You're never alone, and it doesn't last forever.
Yeah, and just like having to, when you find those people, like how do you trust? How do you like know that they won't be like hateful? You know, because it's like it's happened in your own family, right? Like your dad. It's like how do you trust? Also men in general, right? Like I have my own daddy issues too, where it's just like, how do you trust men? Like, you know, you get these, like, how do you get past that, I guess? Yeah, I
mean, I always have veered more towards women. Mm-hmm. I'm a girls gay. Like women have always been always pushed me, always stood up for me in school. I have great like straight guy friends too, and a couple queer friends, but I don't know. There's something clicks when you meet people. Like whether you're in school and you need to go out for a sport or go out for a club or like join, maybe not sorority or fraternity. I was in a fraternity in college too.
You were?
Yeah, but it was like the smart boys. It was like nerds.
Okay.
And I was like head of like the etiquette board, so I got to like teach them like how to use cologne and like how to tweeze their brows and all this stuff. Like how to, you know, it was like gentlemen. It was sweet.
Oh, that's
cute.
But
you just find your people. You just need to put yourself out there, because if you're always in the headspace of like everybody's against against me. Nothing's going to work out for me. That stuff comes to fruition.
Yeah.
You just have to try. Like, I was like in New York, I met the coolest people by chance, and like, they're my soulmates, and like they became my family.
It's amazing how you do kind of like keep and like nurture those like friendships, because I've always been bad at that. I'm not someone who like is good at being a friend, like, because I just don't know how to like reach out, and if people reach out to me, I just like assume the worst. I don't know. I've always had really bad.
I think you've been burnt a lot of times, and you've been like hurt a lot, and a lot of people have, and you build up walls to protect yourself.
Yeah.
But sometimes like it feels so great to like break those walls down and just like give people a chance. But like you just need to feel it in your heart that they're genuine and have love for you unconditionally.
Yeah, I guess that's why I asked more even for myself, because I was just like, how do you look past like being like, oh, this person won't hurt me? I just assume everybody would, right? So it's just like that wall.
I think it's easy to get in that mindset, especially if you've been hurt or like went through a crazy breakup. But your heart knows, like you're not gonna. Well, now that I'm thinking of it, you've had let some crazy people into your life, but like you just
everybody.
Like, you know, in your gut, like sometimes like there's a difference between that feeling inside than like the feeling of like just wanting to have people around you because you're lonely or something. Like but you just need to listen to your heart. And for you, I mean, it's very difficult now. I mean, like you've always been in a position of power and success, and you know, especially now, which is amazing. But a lot of people want things from you, so I think like as long as you have your people around you, like you don't need a ton of friends, but also you can have your boundaries, you know, of like if you go to an event or like how long you want to stay, or you know, if you want to have people over for dinner or whatever. But
that's actually so true, because I never really got into is like what's the etiquette for that, like how long do you stay, how long do you not, you know what I mean? Like I remember when we hung out, you, me, and it was like Shane and Rylan. I remember being so like, I guess maybe jealous is the word, where it's just like, God, I really wanted like stability, right? I would leave and you guys would be together at home, or same thing with Shane and Rylan, and I would get so like jealous that I just like, I don't know, I didn't know how to like control or stop it. I'm like, how do you stop being like jealous of someone, right? Because there's always that thing, right? Like, oh, I can't be friends with someone that's jealous, but that was always me. I was always, and maybe not anymore because I'm like in a relationship and all I wanted was that, but I don't know how like to not be that, right? To not see that love and not like want that too. Like I didn't know how to like get past that. So I think I was like just so I don't know, sad and depressed. I mean, so I didn't want to be around it. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I don't think you're like that anymore. And I think like you've come to a certain place in your life where maybe you can give yourself that grace of like the past is the past. Yeah. You can start over again. You can be like, hey, do you want to get coffee or whatever you want, or like come over and like we'll have tea or something. Like what feels good for you. You don't need to spend all day with somebody. Now like my circle's tiny. I'm not friends with a lot of influencers. I've stepped away from a lot of friendships, and I've been able, since my relationship ended, since I have more time to like give, because I was giving everything in that relationship, I'm able to water the garden around me and like let those friendships bloom and let people be there for me. I was always terrified of like, oh, like if I show up, if I'm a good person, if I love them unconditionally and I like say yes to everything, that they're never gonna like hurt me, they're never gonna leave me, they're never gonna, you know, be maybe who my father was to me. But you're always taking the chance of being hurt, and it's just like, is it worth it or not? And
no,
hold it. No, it is. It's a give and take, I think. And I have amazing people in my life, and I think for me is having one foot in this entertainment world and one foot in the world that I truly love with my heart. Like I know I don't want to raise a family in LA. I want to be in Montana. I want to like have that life that's offline, and I'm able to switch it on and off when I want.
Do you see yourself like settling down, like getting married, having kids?
I would love to be a father one day.
Really?
Yeah, I love kids. I want to have a farm. I want to have maybe not a farm, but like just like I want to have a little shop in town in Montana and have like land and have like flowers and all that good stuff. It's like what I have now, but like larger.
Yeah, I think what's so cool is because like, you know, I always felt too like being like woman, obviously biologically, like I was like, oh man, I need to have kids now. But it is so cool that like women like Kourtney Kardashian, like all these people are having babies in like their 40s, you know what I mean? Because for me, having kids, I say later in life, I was 34 when I had my first, but it does feel like I didn't miss out on anything, and I appreciate it more like at this like stage in life. Right. You know what I mean? It feels, and because I have kids, I'm like able to like form friendships now. Like I said with Andrew, like me and Andy were always like close, but now we're like closer because we have kids. We can hang out with them for them. Yeah. And there's like a common interest, and it like feels good. You know what I mean? And I've like pushed myself out of my boundaries more to have friends for Malibu and stuff. But.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's good. And as a mom, that's going to continue to shape things. But also you were hurt recently, you know, and that sucks. But that's not, there are great people out there. You just like, luckily, I feel like you didn't get probably as close as you were going to be.
Yeah.
and it all like the universe like started it and ended it, taught you a lesson, move on.
Yeah, that was wild. I think that's the thing. I think that is the thing, right? It's like friendships I thought I had for so long, like Shane, right? Like later on, people are like, Shane talked about you, Shane, and like stuff that only Shane would know. And for so long, it's like he would never, because I personally never. Like I thought Shane was the one person I was like, you know what? We're never talking to each other. Like we're so close. So then when I found out all this stuff later that he would, stuff again that only he would know, I was like, this sucks, like calling me like a sociopath and all these like crazy things. And I was like, that's wild, because as much as like Shane had his issues, like I never would like talk about them to anybody else. Right. So I really thought
that just shows who you are as a person, and it only reflects on that person. And that's like a darkness and unhappiness and highly insecure person.
Yeah.
Who always needs to only talk about others and never like be able to be open about themselves and what they're going through. Because a friendship is like you bounce stuff off each other. You're not always going to be perfect, but you're there for each other. Like that sucks.
Which is, again, then with the Colleen stuff, I think that also shocked me, because I was like, okay, this is someone who we have no history. There's no reason. Like, again, the mom connection, right? You're like, oh, our kids got together. They're around the same age. Like, it's perfect. And then to find out, like, this person who I wasn't even close with, right? Just, like, sending my nudes to people and talking, like, I was just like, this is what, like, all the while inviting me over to her house and stuff like that. So that's why, I really didn't, like, talk to anyone for a while or trust anyone, because I was just like, okay, like, this is someone who I thought was, like, so unproblematic and, like, whatever. And then it ended up being, like, so nasty to me for, like, what? Like, why?
Was that all? I know, obviously, it hurt and was, like, deeply disrespectful. Were those all things that happened recently, or was this, like, kind of, like, a couple years ago?
Couple years ago. So it was around 2021. It was definitely after she gave birth.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
It was like a month after she gave birth to her first son.
Okay.
Was at least the ones I saw, the text messages that I saw. So I was just like, damn, you just gave birth and you're like couldn't imagine. Like, I gave birth 2 years ago. I gave birth 3 months ago. And I'm like, I couldn't even imagine like downloading someone's nudes and sending them to like my little like fan. Like, that's so weird. It's so odd. And that's why I was like, and it was so scary and so violent. I'm just like, oh my God, maybe everyone's weird. So I shut off everyone basically. Because at that time, everyone did reach out. And I was like, I'm just shutting off everybody.
Yeah.
And I still am very I'm very
you're guarded for sure. But it's hard with people who are in the industry, I guess, and have been in the industry and successful for a long time.
But it's also like, why? Like, that kind of thing, you're just like, but what was the point? Like, what was the point?
Again, that's like, as we've seen, it's a darkness. And like, I think like life will guide you to the right people. And that was a lesson for you to learn. Again.
Anyways, that was a tangent. And Jimmy can also clean that up. Because I was like, that just went like full on. I guess because like we know so many of the same people.
That was like an Oprah moment.
I was just like, wait, why? I get like sometimes when I start, like, I let things go for sure. I forget things too. Yeah. Sometimes I'll be like, not forget things. I let things go, and then I like don't think of them as bad as they were, right? Like, I can be like, I miss Shane, but then when I think about it, I'm like, oh, like, actually.
Girl, yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's hard for me because I wasn't ever best friends with anyone. I was somebody's boyfriend, and I was kind of grouped into it. So I didn't have like my own one-on-one. Even with you, I didn't have a one-on-one with you. I didn't have a one-on-one with Colleen. I didn't have a one-on-one with Shane. That was a little different because like he made me laugh and like we made each other laugh.
I thought you guys had to have more of a one-on-one.
No, we didn't text like separately.
But you like went to lunch.
No.
Once.
I mean, who haven't I gone to lunch with once? You know.
Me.
But like, well,
I remember that. I was like, I've never been invited to lunch by Daniel.
Yeah. More over the recent years, I've always reached out though, and I've always supported.
I would actually argue that in the sense of like, yes, I met you like through Joey, but like I always thought we were closer in the sense I talked to you more.
That's what I'm talking about. That's like that respect that you have for people that a lot of people don't like. You know, like they don't see you as an equal or a peer just because I don't have millions of followers. I'm like, I'm a great person and a great friend and very talented. I just like
connected more with you. I would say that in a heartbeat. I mean,
we have a lot in common, and like we'd love to yap and talk and kiki and everything.
For me, it's like you coming here would seem very natural because we just talked. And I always say this with like Joey is like I just feel like we never connected. Even though I like Joey was always nice, but like we never like connected. As opposed to like you and me, I feel like we. I don't know.
It's just flowing. Like sometimes you have the flow, and sometimes you have to work on the flow, and it can come. Mm-hmm. But yeah, with those people, it's hard. Like I was grouped in for a long time. Yeah. And I'm like, girl, I haven't even shot a video with this.
Oh, right.
Like what?
People being like, so what do you think about it?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think of it. It sucks. It's awful. And I've said this before, but the fact that I was hounded for so long, I get it.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's unfortunate. I haven't seen this person in years. And it's also unfortunate. They were always very sweet to me and very kind. And like, there's kindness there, but there's also like bullshit. behind the scenes that I don't agree with. Hence why there's no communication, no friendship. There never has been.
Yeah, it's definitely a double-edged sword for sure. Like if you don't talk about it, but you like rode for that person and like, okay,
for sure.
But then why do you have to? At that moment, I was very protect my peace. This was before the podcast. I was like, I don't want to gossip. I don't want to drama. So I was like holding off for so long until I saw that, and I was like,
I gotta go.
Yeah, I was like, I need to say something because it actually got wild. I was like,
and that was also something that was deeply disrespectful and like,
but also
harmful.
To like Johnny, right? Like I know he got a lot of hate from it, but I'm like, this is actually insanity because I remember confronting her and being like, did you ever send this? And she goes, no, he was obsessed with you. He would send me pictures. So then when I saw like her friend that's not even public, like holding my OF near his face, I was like, you've been caught, girl. Like it was his face next to my OF, and I was like, and she's like, yeah, I was like a coward. I should have told you. And I was like, but you lied. Like you went a step further and blamed this kid that was 20 years old at the time and said that he was being inappropriate. I'm like, insane. It was actually insane. I feel like, anyways. But I think it's also like when people start defending those people, then it becomes like a whole other thing, right? Where it's like, oh, it's all lies. Like Todrick defended her and Jojo and
you defend the people who ride or die for you and have been in who are. You need to stand up for the truth no matter what.
Yeah,
like if you love somebody, you can still love them and call them out, and even if it's like done in private, you don't need to publicly defend them.
Yeah.
There have been many times where I've given advice where I'm like a solid person who's not necessarily involved whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I love that about myself. I can be like a rock to people.
Yeah.
Even behind the scenes, but like I'm not going to lie and publicly defend somebody.
No,
over their actions. That's crazy.
Even now with this, and I think Wendy Williams always gave the best quote about it too. She's like, she can't be friends with celebrities, right? Because she talks about them, so you can't. So I feel like that with influencers too. There's people that I'm friendly with, but like, if someone does some effed up shit, you kind of have to say it, right? You have to say it because it's like truthful. It's you don't want to be inauthentic to your viewers,
right?
But at the same time, I've always appreciated when like people called me out because even if I didn't mean something, right, with the trans video, right, at the time what I was trying to say was like not what was being out there, but just hearing how people are like the way you said it. It's like the honesty is like what you need. Otherwise, I just thought, well, this is not what I meant. People know that's not what I meant.
Yeah.
But I think when you hear people like tell you the truth, it like helps more than
you can still love somebody and clock them. And that's like part of a friendship.
And I think that's love, is clocking them,
it's tough
right?
love.
Be like, actually, because if you're just surrounded by yes people all the time,
it's never going to work.
It's never going to work. No. And you know those people who are. And I'm just like, so when I saw people defending her, I was like, well, you can't just say everyone lied, because mine was clearly not a lie, where I got an apology where it's like, real, it's not lies. So you could be like, okay, if you love that person, you could be like, she's not a bad person, but that was really effed up, or some bad decisions. Yeah. Okay, so you're a Katy Perry stan?
I am. I mean, I have a history with her. She was my first interview when I worked in radio.
Wait, really? I didn't know that either. Okay, so you like Katy.
It was really cool.
Are you a Katy cat?
My ears were hung up long ago.
Oh,
like
okay.
I'm far too like removed.
You're
from
a little
critical.
Are you critical of her or no? Am I just like making this up?
Of course I am.
Okay. Again, love. I think that's love.
But like I love pop music and I adore like Teenage Dream, like 6 number ones, 5 like broke records. She's an icon.
Can I tell you I really thought Darren Criss was the originator of that song for real? Like, actually.
I love that.
And the way I thought Colorful was Joey Graceffa, I really thought.
I mean, I feel like in Trish world it is. Number one for like
when
years.
people told me it was Katy Perry, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty vocal about being like, I wasn't like a hater, but I definitely was never like a stan of Katy.
Right.
Until I met her. And then I was like, oh my God, I love her. But then of course she got the most hate at the time that I did a music video with her. And I was
crazy.
like.
I mean, Teenage Dream is probably one of the best pop records ever. I think ever created. Great song.
Yeah.
I think Bonnie McKee was on that track, who's amazing.
I see her all over TikTok.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, she's good.
But yeah, I got to interview her randomly. She like pulled me on stage in front of 50,000 people, and I stayed connected. I stayed connected with the team throughout the years and got to go to shows and stuff like that. So I appreciate and like her music and the music video. She's up for the VMA Vanguard Award.
Yes.
Or she's getting it.
It's this weekend, right?
Yeah, but it's really unfortunate that she decided to work with Dr. Luke.
Yeah, I think that's the general consensus.
Yeah.
And her, she was on Call Her Daddy recently and kind of didn't,
She skirted around. It was a PR answer, which I get it. Like, no matter what she says, she'll never win. Unfortunately.
But don't you think she could have been like, that was a mistake?
Yeah, she could say that. But what if she could lie and say that?
Do you know what I mean? Like maybe, and I'm giving benefit of the doubt only, like I don't know her as a person. I don't write for her just because I was in a music video. I thought she was like super nice and stuff like that. But
she's very nice.
I think of it as like maybe benefit of the doubt, like didn't know the extent of it because I wasn't that familiar. I remember when, first of all, I have to say, like I was in the video before the song was ever announced, before it came out. Like obviously I didn't know, but at the same time I also didn't know the extent of it. I had to like research because I was just like, who is this person? Like what it is. But you think she's like aware.
The thing is, it's hard because social media has, all the knives pointed. The Dr. Luke thing is awful, what's happened in the past. However, I don't think he was found guilty of anything, which is not, I don't know the full story. I don't know anything.
It's such a touchy. This is why I didn't talk about it.
It's so touchy. Of course it is, but
I don't know.
We don't know anything. The public's never going to really know the truth. However, when you see that, at least on social media, she knew what happened. She knew what the rap was for him online. And there are so many other up and coming creative producers and people in music who she could have worked with and made a lot better music, I'm sure. She didn't need to have him on. However, what I don't like is that Dr. Luke works with so many artists still, like Doja Cat, Kid Laroi, all these other hit makers, and worked on singles and records and whatever, and none of them are getting the level of hate.
Yeah, what is with why did she get such a hate train, you think?
You know what a hate train is. Once people are on, they're like, choo choo, let's go. And also,
Crazy.
I think, they aren't respecting, what she's done in the past. However, just because you're iconic doesn't mean, you can't answer to, what's going on currently.
Yeah, to just be like, oh damn, that was
It's ruined the rollout. However, the album's good. I'm excited for
Have you listened to it?
I listened to 8 songs.
I like her songs. Yeah, I think they're good.
How was filming the music video?
I loved it. It was the best experience ever. That's why I was kind of sad that the video got so much hate and she got so much hate. It was a big budget. Yeah, it was a budget.
Yeah.
I was the first thing was asked to do in literally 15 years since the Eminem video, which has been it's literally 15 years. I was 21 at the time.
You shot at the Universal lot on the back lot?
It was at Golden Oak.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love.
I think we were gonna shoot. We took a tour. All the houses.
Yes, all the houses.
Cool.
We did so many. We did the Suddenly Seymour there. We've done so many ones. They have no. Maybe they're Mormons because they have no electricity at night.
No, they're all empty. All the houses are. Oh, a few of them are shells.
But there's no lights. Period on the ranch.
I think you have to bring in your own lighting because we were gonna shoot Escape the Night there, and you have to bring in your own electrical.
What is that big thing, a generator you have to bring? So when we went back, it was pitch black, and I was like, oh my god, this is so scary. But yeah, I was at Golden Oak, and I was so excited, and the director was this really young, cool female. I didn't even know it was a director. I remember she introduced herself, and I literally, because there was a guy that was doing all the announcements on the microphone, so I just assumed that was the director. And then when the girl introduced herself, I didn't know. She was super sweet, and she's like, oh my god, I've been a fan for a long time. And then I was like, oh my god, it's the director of the video, and she was literally maybe in her early 20s.
That's so cool.
And was crushed it and killed it. Yeah, and it was cool. And seeing Katy, of course, was surreal. I was just oh my god, because that's a superstar, right? I wouldn't say I was a fangirl at all, but I was just very much in that moment I was starstruck. I was like, whoa, she's a star. I was the best experience ever. My hairstylist who I worked with years ago, Jesus, does her hair, so I got to see him.
Yes, he snatches her.
So good.
Yeah, I saw him recently. I think he's friends with my friend Gabriel, and we were all out. He's so sweet.
Oh my god, yes. I remember Gabriel's more too. When I did a music video. They all were living in Houston at the time, but they came out, and I think Gabriel did behind the scenes of one of my music videos for Superficial at Red Gum. And that's the first time I met Gabriel. And it was 2015. This was long.
Wow.
I love Jesus. And then Tatiana is her stylist, who I met on a shoot, and I love her too. And so it was cool. It was good to see it all. It was fun. I'm like you, where I love being on sets. I would love to be on a TV show or something, and I don't know what it would be. And I feel I don't know, but I would love to do set stuff again, because it's just fun to be there and you said, not have to produce, where you're just the talent,
right,
and people just cater. Even this is we produce, in a sense, produce it. We have to give it to the editor, have to make notes and upload and all this stuff like that. But I like just showing up and being talent. Yeah, it's so much fun. And
first of many, I'm sure.
Oh, I hope so. It was great. The Weeknd has a new album out, so I was like, if you need someone for the music video, I'm here for it.
I'm seeing West End for you. I feel you need to do a stint in London for 6 weeks. Bring the fam, have a little London moment. Ooh. And Lindsay did it a while ago before her big comeback.
What show?
I don't remember, but I wanted to go.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a big Lindsay stan.
I love Lindsay too.
So many actors have done it right before they book something huge too. So I think it could be a good foray into it, and
maybe King Richard. Jonathan Bailey's going into King Richard next February.
Okay.
So if you need someone, I could be a Shakespearean actress.
I love that. She's full.
I don't know King Richard. Do you know? I don't know the story.
I don't know him personally, no.
I don't even know the play. When he announced it, I was like,
no, I know the history of it.
Oh, you do? Who is it?
He's King Richard, and
what did he do?
I don't really know that deep, but I know him.
He's not the one with all the wives.
No, I think he was killed. I'm not sure. Us together, it's we need prompters.
See, okay, well I'm glad, because you're so smart and you're theater too, and I'm wait, but I've never heard of this play. Yeah. I think it's Shakespeare. I'm not sure. Yeah. I'd like to be in it though.
I could also see when Wendy did Chicago. Wendy Williams did Chicago.
Yeah, when she was Mama Morton.
That was a crazy. Like, she did not take it seriously, but I loved it.
Oh, I loved it. She's like, when you're good to
Mama,
Mama's good to you. And people ate it up.
Yeah, they ate it up.
I would love to be that in Chicago,
I can see that.
I mean, I would love to be Roxy,
any of the roles. No, I wasn't saying her character, but I'm saying like a couple weeks, like, so you're not on it for like months and months and months.
I would love to be on it for months. Like Rosie O'Donnell too. She did a lot of Broadway. She was in Seussical. She was in Grease. She was Rizzo.
It's coming. It's gonna come. Keep manifesting on Instagram when the posts.
I feel like that. This is my stride. Was 40s. 40s. A lot of people hit their stride. Like Lucille Ball got I Love Lucy when she was 40. Yeah. Rosie O'Donnell was kind of everything in her like 30s and her. I would love to be Rosie in the new Britney biopic. That's my pitch that I would love.
Okay.
I love Rosie O'Donnell so much. And all her Britney interviews, like a little bit judgy. She'd be like, you remember? Much. She'd be like, oh, why are you wearing this?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like,
what do you mean?
Yeah. She's like, no, ma'am. I just, I'm just like, she goes, don't call me ma'am. Don't call me. I was like, all right, ma'am. But love her.
I know.
Rosie's
but that's
fierce.
kind of why she's not on like TV now.
She was kind of wild back then, but she was kind of everything. What else was on Call Her Daddy that was, did you see the part where she was talking about Orlando Bloom and her love language to him?
S&D.
Yeah, that was wild.
Wild, but also like kind of human. Like, yeah. Clean the kitchen, please.
But is that have always been her personality? I don't know.
No, she's very funny. Yeah, I think she just like was in such controlled interviews, but like, have you watched Part of Me 3D? It's the documentary.
No.
When I'm telling you, that's the Katy that I know, and like I've met her a couple times, and she's been very kind in passing. But like that documentary, it will just change your view on everything. Like she's been through a lot. She's worked so hard. I first met her at Warped Tour in like 2008 or something, or it was right before I Kissed a Girl came out, so maybe it was 2007. I'm not sure.
Was this when she did the You're So Gay song?
I don't know if she may have performed that. Yeah, I mean, love that song, but now I'm like, didn't age well.
No, I know. When you look back at it, I'm like, that's wild.
Yeah. But it was, I think she performed either Hot and Cold or I Kissed a Girl, and I was like entranced.
Oh my god.
And that was the same time. She was kind of debuting with the big album at the same time as Gaga, and I always leaned more Katy because it was like,
really?
I don't know, it was just like more, you didn't have to think so much about it.
Yeah, she's more
it
like
wasn't like
Candy.
I'm artistic, but I'm not like Gaga high art in that era.
For sure.
You know
I think that's why I never resonated with Gaga, only in the sense because I don't think I'm like intellectual enough to get it.
Right.
Like the meat statement, I don't know what it was, but I know it was a statement. Yeah. I'm like, I don't get it.
I just love fun pop that makes you feel good and like takes you out of like the depressive episode you're going through. For
sure. Like California Girls, like I just like loved it before I even knew Katy Perry sang it. I was like, I love this song. Oh, but you were saying you know her from... Because I know from the documentary, I just see that one clip of her where she literally finds out on text that she's getting divorced, and then she like has to go on stage, and she's like crying and like hyperventilating, and then she's just like...
Yeah.
And I was like...
The peppermint dress.
Yeah, and it's almost like... It's very sad, but kind of like eerie too. That it's like you just have to like literally be like this like puppet.
You have to put the on switch on.
Yeah, and that was I just seen that little clip, but it makes me do want to watch the documentary because I was like, oh, there's so much.
It's really good. I think that whole era of pop stars, even like Gaga and Katy, are like the last generation to be like almost produced characters. But you saw, it was like 50-50. Like you saw still versions of themselves. They can answer questions in an interview. Like I think the Call Her Daddy thing was just like super low key for her, and she was just like, I don't care anymore. I'm literally doing this fun, like for fun, and also like to make a dance pop album.
Did she talk about her weight loss at all on the Call Her Daddy?
I don't think so.
Oh, she didn't.
No. What do we think?
She was very open. I don't know. I don't know. But she was very open because I was like, you look so good. And she was very open with me about it. So I didn't know if she talked about it.
she did a same wellness program that I did.
Oh.
It's a program up in Sonoma, California. I'm just not going to say the name because people can figure it out. But it's a place to go if you've ever had anything going on with like from your childhood, like childhood traumas. It kind of like helps rewire your brain and set you on a different track and like really like get to those core issues that you're going through.
Yeah.
Actually, Joey did it as well years and years ago. I think
those
like 5 years ago. Yeah, they do, and they get to. Retreats. So I think like maybe when your life comes to like a culmination and like you're just like everything lines up, maybe she just like looks great that way. I don't know.
I mean, she definitely. Yeah. She definitely like you can tell she's like in her happy space and all that stuff with her daughter and everything. It just makes me like so happy for her because I just didn't know much, and then obviously when I met her, I was like, ooh, I love this whole thing. But she was open about a previous relationship, like not liking her when she's like in girl boss mode, who would never come to her show. That was very like I was like, that's wild. I mean, assuming she's alluding to Russell Brand
for sure. You could tell he's like wacky.
He's even more wackadoo now. Have you seen him lately? He's like on talk about cult. Go to his cult.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
He looks like
he's not.
He looks like he stinks.
Well,
like B.O.
He is very... We'll just leave
Spooky.
it at that.
Yeah.
Spooky is a good term. Yeah. Very much so. Speaking of weight loss...
Uh-oh.
Did you see, you keep up in general, right?
Yeah.
So the big one this weekend was Nickocado Avocado. Did you keep up with him?
The thing is, I've kept up like from the, TikToks and videos and whatever, and I know about him from the past, but I've never watched a full video through because it would make me so uncomfortable in a way.
I don't know how people could watch a full, not in any sense that other than it's like, how do you watch like that much of eating like for 40 minutes? I guess maybe he's entertaining. He's like entertaining.
I think I saw one way back in the day, and then he had like a breath mask or something on, and that really scared me, and it was like, it didn't seem well. And I'm like, there's way more to this story.
Really? So even back then when you saw him, did you think of him as like a troll, or you thought like he was just this like really unhealthy person?
I think just like unhealthy mind, body, soul, spirit.
What do you think now that it's been an all an act?
I don't think that's changed. No,
really?
I don't think it's an act.
Because everyone thinks now he's, if you guys don't know, Nickocado Avocado, mukbanger. He was originally vegan with his husband Orlin. They used to live in like Colombia. They used to have like a sloth as a pet. Like I watched him from way back in the day. Yeah. We have history. 2016, he made a series of exposed videos about me because I'll tell you on this one too. I would take the blame. That's what I'm saying. I just like love people who can take accountability, right, on their things, and I take full accountability on this. He was gonna come to California, and I was like, oh my God, we have to collab. So I guess he came, when only our collaboration set up. And then when he came, it was 2016. It was a rough year. I had a lot of rough years. And he came and I guess ghosted. I didn't know this term ghosted back then. I'm someone who just stops responding. It wasn't day of. It wasn't here's my address and then just like you don't hear from me. It was definitely like come to California, we'll collab. And then he came to California and I just was like scared to like reply.
Nervous.
Yeah. I'm someone, I talk about this all the time on the podcast, and you can tell me your thoughts. I love when people just ignore me rather than tell me what the issue is, right? Like if I go on a date and the guy's like, oh, you're chubbier than I thought. Like I'd rather just ignore me, just ghost me, block me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Wouldn't you rather have that? Okay.
I'm so open though. I'm like, if you were to tell me something that you don't like about me right now or something from the past, I'd be like, let's hash it out.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's
never keep it moving. We got to work on that, Diva.
Because I think it's just nicer for me. For instance, we were asking like this influencer to be on the podcast or whatever, and I just assumed she just like never replied and ghosted. And then Oscar's like, actually, they did reply, and they said like no, and I was just like, even though it was just a no, I still took it so personally. Where I'd rather be like, just ghost me as if you didn't see the email or something.
Can you bleep out the name? You don't want her.
Okay.
No, doesn't like. I feel like that personality is like a cat. Like only gets along with certain other.
Yeah, I found out later that
like
she like talked to Zach saying about me and stuff. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. Which is like fine. Again, I get why people talk about me. I get it. So it's like it's never an issue for me. But it was definitely one of those things where I'm like, I'd rather be ghosted.
Of course, yeah. I mean, because that's so personal too. Yeah. But you have to realize. She's also said that about a couple other people,
Right, yeah. But with the situation, like, have you ever had a collab fall through where you have it set up and they just like stop responding?
I don't collab with people, so no. But I get it. I've seen it. I remember seeing it in the past. What
about Escape the Night? Like they just don't show up or something.
Oh God! I mean, we had so many difficult people to work on that set.
Oh, so many. So it wasn't just Gabbie.
I mean, in terms of what Gabbie did,
yeah,
it was just Gabbie.
But there's been unprofessional
there were people who are like. More diva behavior. That stuff I can handle like in my sleep.
Really? YouTubers? I just don't like when influencers are divas. I think like I get it with celebrities, but influencers, like I'm sorry, at the end of the day, you're just like not A-list celebrities. Even if you have more money, more influence, like you're just not Johnny Depp or Brad Pitt or Angelina Jolie. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like you should be so lucky because influencers are only reliant on their audience. Like if Alex Earl has no one following her, brands won't work for her. You know what I mean? So I think it's a complete thing. As opposed to like Chappell Roan, who's like just such a talent. She doesn't like, fans show up and stuff like that, but she's not reliant on her personality. As opposed to me, I'm reliant on people liking me. Right. So anyways, when those people have diva attitudes, I'm like, you're lucky people like you for doing mediocre makeup on YouTube. You know what I mean? So it's a whole other thing. But
I think there's a way of saying it without being too blunt. You can be like, I'm just not available right now, or I'm not, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I would just kind of like when you guys never told me that YouTube rejected me, and I just thought, well, they didn't want me or something like that.
Well, also, I'm not going to be like, hey, YouTube doesn't want you. Like, you never asked me straight up. So if you had asked me, I would have been like.
But that's why I'm saying I would never ask because I don't want the rejection. I was like, you know what? I get it. It's almost like a ghosting thing, right? Yeah. I never got asked, so I'm like, I get it. I don't need to know. Yeah. But then I was like, it was eating me alive. I was like, I would like to know.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's not your fault.
I know. But it's not.
But I do hang on to it.
Of course, because that's rejection from a place that you helped create. You helped create YouTube to what it is today.
I think I take it more easily now that I know it's like YouTube that said it rather than like you.
It would never be us.
Because I was like, oh, our friends. And then,
no, ever. Yeah. I'm sorry that you sat with that because that's never, ever how it was.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah. And guess what? You have your own talk show now. So here we are.
In our basement. It's not a basement, it's the first floor, but I call it a basement. No, but Nickocado, he made this series of exposed videos. I know that's why this title's like, ooh, do we do exposing Nickocado? I don't know. But we ended up, but yeah, that was bad. He did come all this way and I felt bad and I wish I could make up to him. Maybe I could pay him for that flight. I don't know. He said he flew first class and he was coming from Colombia and all stuff like that. So he became a mukbang king. Then we did collab in 2019. We collabed a few times.
There, you made it up to him.
It was great. And then he got canceled because he had this drama with this other YouTuber. Do you know Stephanie Sue?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Do you remember
I did hear about that whole story.
Recently or at the time?
I recently heard about it, but I remember hearing about it back then too.
So me and Nickocado made up, and I'm like, wow, the internet loves us. This is great. We're on the up and up. Because I was always the villain in this story, which rightfully so. I mean, it was a little crazy. People gave me a lot of hate for ghosting. I get it, but we finally became friends, and then that whole stuff with Stephanie Sue happened. And I remember it was kind of like deja vu, right? She said my whole thing. Anyways, we don't need to rehash it, but that all happened, and he became like a villain of like YouTube, I guess. He like gained all this weight, but people are saying now he lost all the weight, 250 pounds. He's always said he's 2 steps ahead. People think he's like this mastermind, right? He's like, it was a social experiment. It was all this, but you're not buying it.
No. Eye roll. Really? Like, I hope you felt that eye roll. There's no way. First of all, you're mukbanging on YouTube. You're not doing a social experiment. Like, if you were doing that, you'd be like a scientist or something at this point. Like, what is going on? This isn't NASA. We're not at IBM. Like, you did a gag. You got on Ozempic. You lost the weight.
You think?
That's a lot of weight to lose. Where's the excess skin? Did you get the skin surgery?
Well, you know what? In general, I thought of that. I was just like, where does the skin go when you lose so much weight?
I've had friends who have lost it naturally. And friends who have been on Ozempic that were like lost maybe 150, 200 pounds. You need to get that surgery.
So the skin's loose.
Yeah.
It can't ever go back in tight.
No, I don't, not that I'm fully aware of.
I want to say, I think Shane was open about talking about this because I don't think he ever talked to me personally. I think he got the skin removal, like his skin removal.
Well, didn't he always wear like compression shirts that like held everything in?
I think that's
he got... what Nick is doing now. That's what I think.
Oh,
he's wearing the compression.
I think under his t-shirt there's like either a bodysuit
I didn't watch enough of the video to see.
I actually didn't know that either.
But I also saw him like kind of jumping around, and I didn't see anything like even with the shirts.
Yeah, or
his
thighs. I feel like could be a tell. Like if I lost weight, where would all my skin go?
I don't believe it. There's no. I don't think anybody. No, because then there would be a whole series like follow my journey. Maybe there will be. Maybe something will come out. Follow my journey. Where's like the Discovery Channel series or something like that. You know what I mean?
What if it was? Then I would believe it being smart. No. But yeah, is it like even that genius to be like what is the social experiment? He said something about
pre-filmed a bunch of videos.
Right. I'm like, okay, well, he's like the parasocial relationships. But I'm like, but that's always been a given.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the expose on that would be, or even the fact that like, oh, people like you when you're skinny. That's also a known thing that's been out there.
I mean, the sky is blue. Like that's what it is. I remember when I was chubbier, I had less friends. Like in middle school.
Wait, were you chubby in school?
Middle school, high school, I was like 5'8" until sophomore year, and then I shot up. And all of a sudden, I'm popular and captain of the swim team.
Wow.
Like, it just...
Right. And now his TikToks are getting 60 million views, 70 million views of him literally just, like, jumping around being skinny.
Yeah.
I was like, first of all, it is iconic in the sense I've always thought that. I want to say I might have had this conversation. Well, I won't say who, but... Well, you can bleep it. I think when we did a video together in, like, 2000... When I knew you, so, like, 2021 or something like that. And he's like, but, like... for him to have a comeback if he lost a bunch of weight, people would, people tend to like cheer you on. So like people are saying that with Nickocado, right? That he lost all this weight and everyone's really excited for him. So then there's always people like, well, don't forget he's also this bad person. But I think when you have a physical transformation like that, people do respect it more, I guess, respect you more. Because all of a sudden people are like hyping up. Not to say he's not. I do think I'm like you, where I'm just going to share my personal experience, where I'm like, he was always very nice to me after the whole thing. And he seemed very smart and intelligent. So I'm not saying he's like this bad person. I would love him on the podcast. I have so many questions. Like you said, like how, why, like, were you interested, like him gaining so much weight? Like maybe that was for a reason, because why else would somebody want to do that? It can't be money alone.
No, I mean, I think the delivery of it as well just did not come off genuine to me. The way that you're trying to get like, you're using the sound from a previous video and trying to have these viral moments instead of like somebody who's been through that is like, it's a trauma for a body to go through.
Oh, you're saying the weight loss.
Yeah, and just the delivery of everything just seemed like there was like a hint of malice there. Like, ha ha ha, I won. Like, this isn't a competition.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But do you think he's trying to get like a show maybe? Like he is trying to be like this villain, like I'm going to be in a show.
Possibly, but I think times have moved on from that. I think this is the flash in the pan.
Really?
Yeah, I think it'll, like, I'm sure it'll launch a different part of his career and his life, but I don't know.
Like, is he going to give weight loss advice? Like, is he going to become Richard Simmons? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
But I guess still, like, yeah, when he was even bigger, was he this character the whole time? I would have to say yes, probably, because you remember he would do those ones. He's like, I'm fat, and he'd be so angry.
That was so scary.
Those were scary, but that was like when we do our mukbangs. And I look back, I'm like, he was completely like normal. So I'm like, I have to wonder, is that a character? Was he always trying to? Was this his plan to be like? I just think when you do a dramatic transformation weight loss like that, it is shocking and it gets the views and the attention and
right. Were people watching the videos over the past 2 years, like actually like on YouTube?
Yeah, I think they were doing pretty good. They seemed to have like 400 to 500,000. Well, he disappeared for 7 months, and people had speculated that he was going to lose weight. But then he started posting videos again, and like, oh, he didn't. But those were, I guess, pre-recorded. Yeah. So everyone thought he lost 250 pounds in 7 months. But I guess he said he hasn't made a video in 2 years. But he's back to doing mukbangs. His first one back was like a noodle one, and then he just did one with Hungry Fat Chick with Outback Steakhouse. So it's like, okay, is he going to gain it back, or is he going to teach people? It might be, actually, because he had the bag in front of him. Oh. And he did look snatched. He looked good. It might have been. I love an Outback Steakhouse.
Maybe the truth is somewhere in between.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't see it. I think it's just like storyline.
You don't think
I think he's producing it. He's making it seem for something that it
But just
isn't.
Like 15 million views on the first video back and 3 million views after that.
Wild.
Like it is crazy. And are people just... I guess it's just the transformation that's so shocking.
I think they're enamored, but I think it's entertaining, and clearly you see it by the views.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it was like that too. I remember when Anna Nicole Smith lost a bunch of weight and everyone was like shook.
I know.
They were like, oh my gosh.
R.I.P. Anna.
I know.
I love her so much.
I loved her too. But also like it is like when you look back at Anna Nicole season 1, it's like she really wasn't even that big. She's a tall girl too. And I was like, she wasn't... You know what? F. Howard Stern. I went on America's Got Talent to talk to Howard Stern, and I used to love him. But like watching him actually like just totally degrade Anna. Did you ever see that clip when she was on his show? Of
course.
And he's trying to get her on the scale, and she's like, "Well, why?"
Weighing her, and she's so like kind and sweet about it. Like she doesn't even snap or any. Like it was.
Oh, she was so sweet. He's like, "But why you wear those clothes?" She's like, "I like the way I look, like whatever." And he's like, "Get on the scale," and she's like, "No." And oh man, I kind of actually hate Howard Stern after that. I used to like love Howard Stern, but that's how like conditioned I was as like a kid to be like, oh, a man, and if he thinks you're hot and attractive, then that's the end all be all. And then honestly, like that, I think when I started to realize how awful he was to Anna, but I was conditioned to love Howard Stern, I realized how warped the system is and how we're like look to like idolize these men and stuff and give them so much power. But I love that it's not the case anymore. That misogyny is coming to an end a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be there for women, for sure. Also, you know, Anna Nicole lived in Marilyn Monroe's house in Brentwood?
No, I didn't know
And did you know that I broke into Marilyn Monroe's house?
What? Why?
Okay, I was 17. No, I had just turned 18. Right before my second semester started, I had to do a story on something. It was like my historical studies class at Northeastern. And I'm like, I love Marilyn Monroe. Loved her since I was a kid. Mm-hmm. First, like Some Like It Hot was like one of the first movies I remember seeing.
A little problematic this day, though.
A little problematic, but also like, what's his name?
Tony Curtis.
Curtis. Like, they're so funny. It's so good. Yeah. So I take my brother's ID. My brother was in war in Iraq, had given me his ID. Or no, maybe it was Katrina. It was something around there. He gave me his ID and was like, we kind of look alike, like in case you need to like get anything in Boston or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like go out. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to...
Wait, what does he do?
He was in the military.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you're saying if you need anything in Boston.
Oh, like if I needed to like go to a party or get alcohol or whatever, like because I was underage.
Got it.
So I buy a plane ticket. I go to LA. I'd always want to go. I stay at the Banana Bungalow on San Vicente, I think, in Hollywood. It's a hostel, but it's like for students. It's chill. It was like $20 a night. And I like start writing a story, and I start like going to Marilyn Monroe's where she was buried, and I'm like, I'm going to go to her house. And at this time, it was owned by the Anna Nicole Smith Trust. Nobody was there. Nobody lived there.
Oh my
she had long passed.
Anna Nicole or Marilyn?
Yeah. Oh. This was back in 1962. No. No. So I go to the house at like 6 a.m. in Brentwood, and I'm just like writing the story, what the house looks like, and like the history and whatever. I jump the gate. I sit by the pool. I'm there early morning. The dew's on the ground. And I'm like, wow, Like I can feel like an energy here.
Oh my
it was
God,
so
really?
crazy.
Like
yeah.
what energy?
It just felt like somebody was there.
Is the one she passed away in Maryland?
Yeah, and it's all natural. Now it's a historical building. The new owners tried to knock it down, but the historical society didn't allow that, which is crazy.
Oh,
but yeah,
man.
lore.
Oh, Anna Nicole's house was for sale. The one she filmed the thing in Studio
show.
City. Yeah,
Yeah.
she filmed, and I wanted to buy that so bad. It wasn't that long ago, maybe 10 years ago or something. It was up for sale, and it wasn't that much. It was like a couple million because I don't think there was a pool, or it might have been a small pool. And it was, oh my God, I wanted to buy that house so bad. I would have been like, oh, just to be. I mean, this literally is Anna Nicole's bedroom.
Yeah,
That's like what we had. Like Do you know Bobby Trendy?
Yes.
Have you seen him?
I remember him from the show.
Who was just on that said they knew Bobby Trendy? Was it Sloan?
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, I love this. Everyone knows Adam Lambert or Bobby Trendy. And I was like, I love it. That this is the thing. I need to get in. I need to get on it. Adam Lambert's on Broadway right now as the MC. I'm going to try to see him.
Ooh,
Full circle from the beginning.
Yeah.
Maybe you could hit him up. Be like, do you remember when we made out back in?
Remember when we met out at Club Le Bon and at the Standard in New York City?
Do you think he remembers?
Probably not. He was definitely drunk.
How do you remember? Oh, you weren't drunk.
I wasn't drinking. I'm not a big drinker. Like I never got it. My dad's an alcoholic and I never wanted to get it. So I have like one sip of a Cosmo and I'm like, I'm ready to go.
Oh man, I got drunk for the first time this weekend. I haven't been drunk on an accident.
Oh yeah, I'm like, ever?
Yeah. No, but I never was a drinker. I was always a druggie. Yeah. I think I like drugs more. You know what I mean?
Right,
but I just don't love the taste of alcohol. I always think it tastes like gasoline.
Yeah, I like pina coladas. But also, you can give me a virgin one and an alcoholic one. To me, I'm like, it's the same thing.
Yeah, I can taste a little bit. Like margaritas, I can taste a little bit. I like a virgin margarita, virgin daiquiri. But I had 2 lemon drops, which I don't even know what's in a lemon drop. I had 2, and I was just like, I had to call Moses
I think
to come
that's
get
like
me.
Essentially a martini with like lemon liqueur. Like it's a lot of vodka, I think.
God, I had 2 and I was like buzzing.
Yeah.
I fell asleep. It was like lunch too. I was like at lunch and it was literally down the street at the Four Seasons and I like had Moses come get me because I was literally like, it was like 2 minutes away. I fell asleep at 4 p.m. and woke up at like 11 a.m. the next morning. I was just like, did I get roofied? Like what happened? It was actually wild. I forgot everything. I think that's when we were watching The Mormon Wives. I remember I like came home and I was like watching it and I was just like, I couldn't focus on anything. I don't think Mormons drink.
I don't think so either. No, they don't. They don't drink.
That's the whole thing. Because on the show, they can't have coffee in the morning because they can't have caffeine. Yeah. So they get those dirty sodas.
Yeah.
Have you ever had those?
I did. I actually had a brand deal with what's the company that makes the creamers? That brand. It's like they make the like Fruit Loop ones.
Paper Mate or Peppermint.
Paper, yeah, it's something.
Is it Paper Mate? I don't know.
No, I don't think it's Paper Mate. It's something, but it's like that weird. I had a brand deal years ago before it was just emerging as a trend, and I'm like, wait, how is it still a thing? It's like a whole thing there.
Like
I didn't know
putting
that.
it in Dr. Pepper or something like
and
that.
The soda.
Yeah, they have whole like soda shops that give you like dirty Dr. Peppers or something like that.
I love that.
You have to try it.
Yeah.
The hater thing.
Can we talk about Tati?
Yes. Do you know her? Are you friends with her?
We've met. She sent me product in the past, but I don't know her personally now. But this whole situation is just
What do you think about it? The Dramageddon getting... First of all, I was so out of it in Dramageddon in 2019. I don't remember any of it. So me and Oscar just redid a whole deep dive on Patreon where we watched it from the beginning, and I'm like shook by all of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Do you remember it? Were you in it?
Oh, I sure do. I was not in it. I was like an outlier because I had like obviously friends who were in it.
In Dramageddon 2.
What was the first one?
I think the first one was your friends, like Laura and Manny.
Yeah. And then 2 was...
this was Tati versus James.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't involved.
And then Shane and
I was never involved in any of them, but like as somebody who was a friend in the first part, Jeffrey had his assistant at the time reach out to me because I had known her years before and said, we'd love to have you and Joey come over to the house to shoot a collab. And I'm like, I don't know you like that, like at all.
Oh.
We've never even met. I think we met once at VidCon. I'm like, you're trying to get somebody who's close to these people
when
to
that was
like
happening?
Stab the knife in the stomach.
What was Dramageddon 1? I have no idea what that was.
I don't even know, and I don't
know
care.
It was all of them flicking off the camera.
It was silliness, whatever it was.
Was it silly? I have no idea.
I mean, who knows? But that was dealt with. But I'm like, that's so weird. Like an older man to be like what?
But aren't they all the same age? Isn't like...
No, I think Jeffrey's in his 40s,
No,
right?
he's like 38 or 39. He's like a couple years older.
Okay, I'm going to say 40.
Okay.
Just
I don't think
to
he's
like
40.
differentiate.
Okay.
Anyways, regardless, it's like, it was weird. I'm like...
So did you go?
No! Oh my God, I thought I would never come back. I'd be like, poof.
But back then I feel like the collabing was like very normal. Like
I guess, but it was so
collabed.
weird because like, we're not like... we had our stuff fulfilled from the same warehouse for a brand at the time.
Oh, I remember.
And merchandise, but like I designed everything myself. It wasn't like, I worked with the design team to do it. They were just fulfilling the orders. But I thought it was very odd. However, this, like, I feel like brought everything back up again.
The Tati, yeah. So she was on Michelle Phan, which is like so crazy. Michelle Phan was supposedly allegedly in a cult like a couple years ago. Yeah, crazy.
She's very rich. She sold her beauty brand for like $100 million or something. Wow. Yeah.
So why is she coming back?
I don't even know the name of it. I don't know what products they have. Like,
wasn't it like M, like EM or M?
Oh, EM and then it's like angular or something.
Yeah, it was kind of everything I remember at the time.
I've never heard of it. Like, I've never like seen the products out.
But like, if you're that rich, like, why come back and make a podcast about drama?
Bored. I would go like I don't know. I would do something. Go on a family trip or something.
What'd you do?
Go on a family trip, like go on vacation. I'm not gonna start a podcast.
I'm disappearing.
But maybe if you have nothing, like maybe you want to be in the limelight. Maybe you have a new product launch coming up.
Do you think she would? Yeah. Well, Tati's back, but I don't think she was promoting anything. At the beginning half of the interview, I was very like, I felt for Tati, but then she kind of lost me when she brought the drama back up and was like, I don't want this drama. And I was like, well, why are we talking about this drama?
Think you need to take responsibility for what you did, and she's in her 40s.
She's in her 40s, yes,
or late 40s. I don't know, whatever, 40s.
Yeah.
You're an adult. You're hanging out with a 17-year-old child. To blame it on this person or blame it on another person. You know who you're hanging out with. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You made your bed. Sleep in it, sis.
No, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's why I said, like, watching Dramageddon, I was kind of like, damn. And even in this one, she's very clear about, like, he was 17 pursuing me. I'm like, let's listen to that.
That's very weird. Honestly, how dare you?
Yeah, and I feel like that's the problem. And we see it a lot on the internet, like, people blaming the younger person or, like, thinking they're weird or something like that. And I was like, that's not weird. It's like, you're the one weird that you thought it was weird, but then pursued it and used it
and
to your
advantage. And just be honest about it. Be like, I was acting weird. I saw this kid who was about to blow up. I wanted to be a part of that, that coin.
Yeah, for sure. Like, again, honesty goes so long, and I feel like I hate when people can't own up to their part of it because there's always two sides.
What is it, 7 years later? Yeah, 6 years later?
It is crazy. And I'm like, that's what's frustrating. I was like, at least own up to it a little bit. You know what I mean? And that was unfortunate. But, like you said, maybe there's something new coming out, a new product.
I guess some people grow, some people don't, and some people just want to get back into it. That's what scares me.
I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to be the drama forever. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I know I'm not one of those people about ages, like, drama can be at any age, but it's like, I don't want to be a Real Housewife at 50 and just like, throwing my drink or
so many things happening.
Or am I going to be a Tati? Am I going to go on, Shane's podcast in 5 years and talk about drama from,
Please don't. Don't do it. No.
Talk about conspiracies?
No. You're the one with the podcast now. You have the mic.
Literally. Yeah. Any final words of wisdom, how you're doing? Have you been on full coverage yet?
Yeah, a couple times.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm like a three-time returning guest co-host.
I love that. Are you the most popular on there?
I think so.
Yeah, people love your dynamic.
We just have a good banter. Like we're just chatting, you know? We both give.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Give. And so from here, you're going to Italy.
I go to Italy tonight.
Yay!
I'm so excited. I have a shoot in Rome. I have a work thing in Rome.
A shoot?
I have a fragrance campaign in Rome.
Wait, for your own fragrance?
No, my second one. So
Wait, your second one?
My second fragrance campaign.
For who?
For a brand.
But you're in it.
Yeah, I'm the model.
For what? Yeah. Can you say or no?
Do you not look at my Instagram ever?
I do. I always look at my researching. Wait, what is it for?
No, I mean, I've been the face of a lot of things because I modeled since I was in college. Like I had a Hugo Boss campaign for 2 years. I did a fragrance with a face of I did a campaign for Amouage, which is a gorgeous. It's from Dubai, actually, I think, or the Middle East.
So you're gonna go model in Italy?
Yeah.
Oh my!
It's just a quick shoot. I mean, it's a social. It's a campaign.
Yeah, but like people who get brand deals, they're not like being the face of it, like on the box.
I mean,
and stuff
it's also a social thing. It's not like plastered everywhere.
Oh my God, but it's
like
iconic.
My own thing. I'm doing a thing with God, what's that company? I forgot. Anyways, I'm shooting a bunch of content out there. I'm taking my number one hater series abroad. We're gonna do Italy. We're gonna do a bunch of restaurants. Then I'm working with Virgin Voyages. I'm doing a cruise with them and doing a TikTok series with them as well.
Wow.
And then I'm finishing a couple things I'm writing out there.
Oh my, that is amazing. And it's like, you always hear about the modeling industry and being like, if you're not like 20 years old, you're like too old to model. Yeah. Like the fact that you're still doing this, like, is actually.
I mean, not still doing. I feel like I've just come into my own. Yeah, and like
you're like Lucky Blue Smith over here. Just
no. It's not. It's also a totally different world of like runway modeling. I did that when I was 20, but this is just like social campaigns, and it's still an honor. Model. I did when I was like, I did in New York when I did New York Fashion Week and everything, but I was like,
would you not do it anymore?
No, now I'm too old, I think.
No, I think the Ralph Lauren one, I think Lucky was just in it.
Yeah.
Isn't he? Aren't you guys the same age? I feel like
he's a couple years younger, but
he's runway walking.
I like doing my own thing, and like I'm not on that level.
I would love to do a runway. Liza Koshy was just on a runway. Like,
was she?
Like yesterday, she was on one for something.
She's really short.
She's really short, which is I was like, wow, that's why. I think it was her first one. She's crushing it. Her and Emma, they're like just everywhere doing everything.
I love her Vogue interviews. I think they're so good.
They are so good. I know Liza was the original, and then I guess Emma's doing it now.
I want you to be on the Met Gala carpet interview. I can imagine. It would be so funny because everybody's so boring and like deadpan on that carpet. I'm like, you would bring like laughs to it.
I would love it so much. I'd get my dress designed. Wasn't H&M doing dresses this year? And I was like, that's random. Fashion Nova does my dress at the Met Gala.
I love that. $1 million campaign.
Yeah, that'd be everything. I'm available. I'd love to go to the Met. Maybe we'll be there together. Maybe we'll see each other there. Yeah. Remember that year they brought all the influencers and they kind of flopped and they never invited influencers again? Not that the influencers flopped.
I remember.
That's the problem. It was bad. But I'm not saying I'm any better.
Well, it's also up to the designers to what you wear, which is unfortunate. Like the designers pay for the seats at the table, which is like $15,000 a pop per person at a table. I think there's 10 people at a table. So that's what, like $150,000 per brand. And then they put you in whatever they want. Like you don't have a choice.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
For the most part, I believe that's how it normally works for like the attendees.
I wonder what the theme will be next year.
Who knows?
I like fashion. I'm into it. I don't wear any fashion.
I want like a musical theme one day.
Oh my God, that'd be
everybody from a different musical. Then you would have to be at that
I feel like people would love that. Like, like Hollywood would love it.
Yeah, that would be real camp to me.
Oh, yeah, because the campier flopped for sure.
That was bad.
I love a camp, but...
I'm back in November, which is crazy.
Oh my God. Well, congrats on everything. I know you can't even talk about what you're going over there for and what's happening.
No, I can. I'm working on a book right now, and I'm super excited.
I think that's going to be so exciting. You told me the synopsis of it, and I was like, this is where it's at.
I'm proud of it. It's like, you find that one thing that's like, you just need to do that you're gonna do, and it's like your heart. That's like where I'm at.
Well, you're like absolutely glowing. Like this is like, so as soon as I saw you, I was like, oh my God, this is the Daniel I love. You had the coziness, you had your good vibes, and even though your hat says hater, I know that you're a lover for life. Yes. So you guys, we're gonna go do crumble cookie review. Yes. Your TikTok is just Daniel Preda, Mr. Preda.
Mr. Preda.
Mr. Preda.
Yep.
Love
#1 hater approved.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Was Just Trish? Was this #1 hater approved?
It's always been approved. I'm so happy. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming to fill in. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.